It is always a big-time rivalry. These two teams matched up in the playoffs last year, and Boston swept them 2-0. But New York has got a brand new weapon, and she's making her debut tonight, and that is Amanda Kessel. Talk about what Kessel can bring to the Riveters this season to get them from 4th place last year up into a championship.
Well, just like Boston is full of impact players, Amanda Kessel is an impact player. She can change the game at the flip of a switch, and I have a feeling she's going to be looking to do that early tonight, jump out on top of Boston, kind of avenge that playoff series that you mentioned a few moments ago.
Amanda Kessel's got some pressure on her this year. A lot of it is expected of her in New York, and of course her brother Phil winning a Stanley Cup championship with the Pittsburgh Penguins, so he's got that on her. She's going to try to match that this year. Let's talk about the goaltending situation in New York, and that was a big story heading into this game. Jamie Leonoff announcing that she is hurt. She could potentially miss the entire season, so that brings into the fold Sojung Shin, who comes out of the CIS, the Canadian Intercollegiate School, and now she is going to be the starting goaltender tonight for the Riveters. What did you see from her in the preseason, and what can she bring to this team now that Leonoff, the presumed starter, is out?
Well, I think anytime a team loses a player like Leonoff, it's a tough loss. But thankfully, you know, these are some of the best goaltenders in the league. I'm sorry, in the world. And so Shin, you know, she's among the top as well. I think she's going to fill the role nicely. Goaltending was an issue for New York last season. Fujimoto did the best she could, and also Jenny Scrivens did the best she could. But with the stronger team, stronger goaltending, you know, New York definitely has a chance to be a contender this season.
Shin, of course, is the goaltender for Team South Korea, and of course she could be playing for Team South Korea in the Winter Olympics in a couple of years when they are hosting it in their capital. Let's talk about Boston. Last night they come out, first period, no score. Seemed like they were feeling out their new system, their new team, how everyone was going to fit in. Hillary Knight was scratched. She is scratched again tonight. Brianna Decker was held off the score sheet, and they still won 4-1 because they have Megan Duggan, Captain America, of course, for Team USA, and Alex Carpenter, who won the World Championships last year, and then in her debut scores a goal and an assist. Eric, let's talk about their depth. It's off the charts. When you can have Knight out and Decker not score and still win 4-1 on the road, that's extremely impressive.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for teams to game plan the Boston Pride this season. Rick Sealing did the best that he could. He shook his lines up quite a bit and shortened his bench as well. Carpenter burned Jordan Burns on her goal, cutting back to the middle. I'm sure that Burns thought she had the outside edge, and Carpenter just got inside on her. You know, 3 solid lines of players impossible to play defense against, and that's how teams have to game plan now, and that's going to be hard to do.
There was some question between us about who was going to start in goal for Boston, but it will be Brittany Ott. She almost had the shutout yesterday, giving up the goal to Harrison Brown in the 3rd period. But Ott, back-to-back, do you think there's an advantage for New York there?
I don't. Brittany Ott she was the goaltender of the year last season as voted by the media. Had made a strong showing for league MVP, had the best stats of any. Of course, she's playing behind Boston, and, you know, they've got a game under their legs now, too. And they're pros. They've done this before. They know how to go back-to-back, and I think Boston's going to be just as strong tonight as they were last night.
Beyond Amanda Kessel and the injury to Jamie Leonoff, there are some very intriguing prospects on the Riveters, specifically Mie Dench as a forward, but defensively they add Kaylee Fratkin from the Whale. They also add Milka McMillan as well from the college ranks, and they also add Picard as well. Talk about what those 3 players can do for the Riveters defensively.
Well, defense was definitely one of the Riveters' weaknesses last season. And obviously adding those 3 players out of, you know, the NCAA, strong players in their own right, and, you know, again, amongst the top in the world. So I honestly see this New York team finishing much stronger than they did last season.
Before the game, I was able to speak with Buffalo Public Address announcer Ryan Burgess about his experience working in the National Women's Hockey League. He is going to be our PA announcer again tonight. You'll hear him in just a few minutes. And we talked about not only his experience being the PA man for the finals, but also being able to announce Harrison Brown's goal after she came out as the first transgender athlete in North American sports, how he had an honor to mention her goal last night to the crowd and just the reaction it had. So let's go back to that interview. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Matt Falkenberry alongside Buffalo Buttes PA announcer Ryan Burgess. And Ryan, thank you for joining me. And just talk about the experience of being the voice of the Buttes, you know, getting the crowd fired up, doing the introduction. Just what's that feeling like before the game and while you're doing it?
Well, it's an amazing feeling knowing that really who I'm here for first is the players. My job is to really provide them an experience to get them fired up in front of our great fans, and then along with that, just to get the fans going, the noise that they make during the starting lineups for their team. Buffalo supporters are nothing like I've ever seen. Some of the best you'll find in all of sports, and there's really nothing like it. It's unreal.
Last night, on Friday night, really, Harrison Brown scores his first goal after coming out as the first transgender athlete in North American sports, and you got to make the announcement of the goal. What was that feeling like when you got to make that announcement? And Harrison spoke about, hearing it and said how cool it was. Just from the other side, from your point of view, being able to make that announcement to the crowd and hearing how fired up they got, what was that experience like?
Well, I was glad I was able to get it right for him. It's something that was communicated to me before, that if something should happen, it's important to make sure to get it right, and just knowing that I was able to do that and make sure everybody else had the right experience. And what a beautiful shorthanded goal it was, a little dipsy doodle around Brittany out there. I actually talked to Brownie after the game, and he said that he whiffed all. I'm like, you made Otter whiff a little bit there too.
Now, you were the PA voice of the Isabel Cup Finals down in Newark. You got a chance to do that. Just talk about when you found out you were able to do that and then have the chance to introduce the Isabel Cup, something that not a lot of PA guys get to do in their lifetime. You got to have a championship trophy come out, and you got to be the voice of it.
The history is not lost on me by any means. I first approached Danny about coming down and doing it as soon as I knew it was going to happen. And the fact that Buffalo actually made the final was just icing on the cake, that I got to come down and see my team do it. But saying, ladies and gentlemen, the Isabel Cup, that really rang true, because my goal is to do the same thing for the Stanley Cup at some point.
The Buttes want to make it back to the final. You saw them all last year. Struggled early on, they gelled and eventually got the upset over Connecticut, made it to the final. They lost their first game, but there is a lot of hope for this team. Just talk about what you expect from them in 2016-17.
I really think you're going to see them gel again. Out of the 17 rostered players, 10 of them on the ice yesterday were brand new, really playing in their first NWHL action for the first time. We'll see Kelly Stedman back in the lineup tomorrow night for Buffalo, and I really think she, along with Cheyenne D'Arcangelo, there's going to be some chemistry there. This is going to be a really exciting team to watch.
Ryan Burgess, the voice of the Buffalo Buttes, and really the voice of the National Women's Hockey League on the public address. Joining me right now, I'm Matt Falkenberry. We'll be right back.
Before the face-off, we're talking, and Dempsey's like, "Gee, I'm gonna win the puck. Back to you. You shoot. I'll go to the net with my stick on the ice and try to tip it in."
In front, Dempsey scores!
It ended up working almost exactly how she drew it up. She just went crazy celebrating.
Wasted no time, really, 4 seconds into the 4-on-4.
That's something I love about Dempsey. She genuinely celebrates.
I love grinding shifts. I just love them, because I love beautiful goals too, all right? And we've scored some beautiful goals. But I've seen so many players in my day that don't have both. They don't have both, okay? They can make beautiful plays at times, but they don't have it, the other part where we have both. And I think that's awesome, all right? That's a complete player, complete team. Just keep it simple, all right, you guys?
Yeah, there was some bad blood. So I'm not exactly sure why. I might have started with that first game, kind of got off on the wrong foot.
And welcome back to the broadcast. And Eric, let's talk about last night just for a second, and that amazing moment when Harrison Brown scored his first goal of the season the same day that he announced that he was a transgender man and was the first to be in the National Women's Hockey League in the entire North American, all 4 major sports, to be the first transgender man. You were on color for that game. Just talk about what that was like when you saw him score that goal.
Well, I see him cutting through the defense, and puck on his stick. He knew what he wanted to do with it, so it was fantastic to see him not only start the season out for the Buttes after having such a strong season last year, but then to have that moment happen on this very historic day. There really aren't words to describe it. Maybe there are, but I don't know them.
I can tell you, just being a fan in the crowd last night, and just hearing the ovation he got when he was announced before the game, and then when his goal was announced to the crowd, and just the roar of the crowd. Not only had Buffalo scored, but it had been Harrison Brown to be the one that scored. That was certainly special, and we're hoping to see more great moments tonight between the Riveters and the Pride. Eric, your final thoughts on this game before we start the pregame ceremonies?
I am nothing less than excited for this. I can't imagine a better matchup for a second game after having the Isabel Cup final matchup last night. Kessel on the ice. It's great to see her back out there, and hopefully we'll get a look at what she can do. And the Boston Pride are the Boston Pride. Cannot have a repeat performance from last night. Can Carpenter do it again? Can Duggan do it again? I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, it should be really exciting. Amanda Kessel's National Women's Hockey League debut. The Pride, of course, bringing all the Team USA stars, amongst others, out there once again. Brittany Ott, again, will make the start. And for New York, Sojung Shin will be the starting goaltender for New York. And, there's going to be some pressure. Let's talk about that. Just, again, to reiterate, if you're just joining us here on the broadcast, Shin will start leading off out potentially for the season for New York. And it should be an exciting night for Shin, the first South Korean goalie, first South Korean player to play in the National Women's Hockey League.
Yeah, and it keeps happening again and again how historic moments fall behind this thing that we all love, just hockey in general. Last year with their inaugural season, the first paid professional league. This year, last night with Brownie and all the great things that he accomplished. And now, tonight with the first Korean player to be playing professional hockey, history continued.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Riveters in their red uniforms, their brand new uniforms this season. The Pride in their uniforms as well now with the white. So it should be an exciting matchups. They're about to announce the starting lineups and have the national anthem. So we're just going to wait a few more minutes and continue to discuss this game. And let's go back to the Pride for a moment. Let's talk about their defense. We haven't mentioned them yet. Gigi Marvin on defense. She's the leader. What do you think she's going to bring to the game tonight?
Well, she's a very good stay-at-home defenseman who also has great puck-moving capability. And that's not a tandem that you find in a lot of defensemen, especially in the women's game. So she's another game changer that Boston has, another tool on that utility belt that they use to just destroy people.
Boston is the home team for tonight's game, so they get two advantages because of that. They get to make the final line change after every whistle, and they also, if this game were to go to shootout, be able to choose whether they go first or second. But it's a neutral site game. These two teams, not all their fans are here. It's going to be interesting. Pride played here last night. They have the experience. The Riveters' first game on the road, and even though it's a neutral site, it's going to be kind of a feeling out process for them, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and few coaches are as experienced as Bobby J. He's a gamesman. He knows what he's doing. So having that final change, I think that's going to come into play. Like you said, the Pride have the game experience from last night. New York is coming into this game with a lot of new faces, might not be as used to playing with each other. And then add on top of that Bobby J is going to get the matchups that he wants. I mean, how do you compete against that if you're Chad Wiseman?
Speaking of Chad Wiseman, he's the head coach now. He's the man in charge, also the general manager. What do you expect his game plan to be tonight?
They just have to – Boston's strength is obviously their speed. They've got to do what they can to slow the game down, pressure Boston. They are prone to making mistakes. They're hockey players, so they will make mistakes. And if New York can capitalize on those mistakes, then they're going to be able to score some goals, especially with improved forwards like Tatiana Rafter and Amanda Kessel.
The teams have been announced. The starters have been announced. We are ready for hockey, but before we do that, let's send it down to ice level for the national anthem. Well, that was the national anthem, performed extremely beautifully, as we are now just getting set. The two teams about to huddle around their goaltender and get themselves fired up for this second day of the National Women's Hockey League opening weekend, presented by Dunkin' Donuts here at the Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. Beautiful Buffalo. My first time visiting this city here in Western New York, and I've got to say it's been an exceptional experience so far. And the Pride certainly have had a good start to their weekend here with a win 4-1 yesterday over the Buttes, and they'll look to go to 2-0 and knock off the Riveters, who are playing in their season opener. Amanda Kessel in the lineup playing tonight for New York, so she will be out there trying to tally goal number 1. Sojung Shin will be in net for her professional debut, the first South Korean player in the National Women's Hockey League. And the Pride, Brittany Ott, the best goaltender in the league a year ago, winning last night 4-1. She will be in net for Boston, playing a back-to-back, so we'll see just how that goes. Again, the Pride playing last night, the Riveters, their first game. The Riveters in the red uniforms this year, with Rosie Riveter on the front with the blue and the white trim, and the Pride in the white. We are just about ready to go here at the Harbor Center. The puck is dropped, and we are underway. Game 2 of the National Women's Hockey League season is underway. McMillan sends it into the corner. Ott deflects it, and it's chased down by New York. Played out in front, and Boston will clear it and will try to move it up ice. So the Riveters trying to get their forecheck going here, as again it's played into the corner, being chased after by Weber. Puck sent all the way around in. Kessel's got it, tries to get it to Weber. Weber knocking it down behind the goal line, and it's now intercepted, and it will be brought out to center by Boston. First chance for Carpenter. Carpenter's shot deflected off the glass, still in play. McMillan trying to get after the puck, can't get to it. Pass out in front, shot just goes wide, and the first chance for Shin just goes wide of the net. Good opportunity for the Pride early on. Bolden with it now, number 10, battling along the sideboards. Burke able to deflect it up. Weber trying to push it out of the zone, can't, and a pop-up over to Shin is caught, and she'll just drop it for McMillan, and the Riveters will try to bring it up ice again. So good pressure for Boston so far. Pass all the way down, deflected, so no icing, as Fritz Ward chased after it. Battle for it in the corner. Fritz Ward trying to get to the puck. Tries to swing a pass out in front. It's loose, and it's cleared away by the Pride. Ketchum with it now. Bray Ketchum, a returning player for the Riveters this season. Tried to make a play, but couldn't. And Decker able to at least push the puck into the Riveters zone, but it'll be sent all the way down, and again, icing has been waved off.
Quick start for the game, back and forth action. As predicted, New York has come out real strong, real fast, and Boston's matching.
Puck is knocked away by Picard, and here comes Rafter. Rafter in her return to Buffalo, and the pass is sent behind. Odd look behind her for a second as that shot just goes wide. Rafter's got it again, but she loses it behind the net, and the Pride will clear it all the way out to center, and will go all the way down, then icing waved off, so Shin will go behind her own net to take it, as Dostal's got it. Dostal gets it over to Johnston. Johnston, the captain of the Riveters, in her second season with New York, part of a revamped defensive unit for Chad Wiseman. Played at center as Rafter goes down to the ice, and Rebecca Russo's got it. Russo sends it in. It'll go off the stick of Ott, played behind the net, and Boston will once again have it as they play it and move it up the center. Pelkey, though, is intercepted by Johnston, who turns it right back over to Emily Field. 17:30 to go in the first period. No score between the Riveters and the Pride here in Buffalo. Johnston tries to play it off the boards and nearly has it intercepted. Gets it back, and the Rivs will at least get it to center. And Weber will chase down ice, racing against Bellamy, and Bellamy wins the race to the puck, and an icing called on New York.
Yeah, no harm, no foul there. They just got the change, and they've got their top line out with Weber and Kessel and Dench. So, this has been a good look for New York so far. I could anticipate that it'll continue to be that so through the night.
Dench from Harvard, one of the big-time rookie pickups for the Riveters this year. Puck played towards Shin. She knocks it away in the first save of the game, going towards Shin. Puck dumped down by Kessel. She ended up on one knee as she tried to speed up and lost an edge for a second, and the puck nearly turned over. That was a dangerous pass, and Weber nearly with a golden opportunity, but the puck ends up on the stick of Megan Duggan, and now it'll end up deep behind the Rivs net. Shin again doing a good job handling the puck behind the net, able to stop that pass. But a turnover near the front of the net. Puck is still loose, now up to the blue line. It is kept in. Gigi Marvin with it out. Marvin shot, stop, deflected, open net, score!
That was a great play by Boston, and New York got a little bit caught looking a little puck focused and weren't paying attention to what was happening behind them. There were two Boston Pride players down behind the New York defense. Carpenter wide open on the other side. There's no way she's going to miss that.
Alex Carpenter, her second goal of the season. She scores last night. She finds a wide open net tonight as she was in the right place at the right time. And the former #1 overall pick by the Riveters in 2015 beats her old team.
We got another look at the goal coming up here.
Well, we will in just a moment. Right now the puck is played into the corner with 16:20 to go, 1-0. Boston in the lead as we're back to live action here. And the shot in on Ada's save, and actually a rebound opportunity for the Riveters. It just didn't work out as well as it did for the Pride. So Carpenter, her second of the season and her first of the game, able to find that open net and give the Pride a 1-0 lead. Puck played into the corner. Picard tumbles to the ice. Now Fratkin, first time we've mentioned Kaylee Fratkin's name in the broadcast here since the game got underway. Able to battle in the corner. Smelker and Decker were there as well, but it comes all the way around, and Madison Packer, number 14's got it. And she'll try to send a cross-ice pass towards Rafter, and it's deflected down, and Rafter will clear down ice, and will go off for a line change. Kessel now on the ice for the Riveters on the top line with Weber and Dench. Weber trying to push the puck forward and does. Dench going for the puck, the shot, she scores! Mie Dench on an assist from Amanda Kessel. This game is tied at 1.
And that was just a great play along the boards, falling but still managing to get the puck forward. Kessel heard the stick tap from, was it Dench that scored the goal? And she just buried it. You mentioned maybe looking a little slow tonight. She's already given up one juicy rebound, and we're going to get another look at it here. Just a great play along the boards. Kessel sees Dench out in front, and again, it's very similar to the Boston goal. Two New York forwards down beneath the Boston defense. Not much the goalie can do there.
So a couple players that would battle for the bean pot in the college ranks have scored here in the pros. Carpenter from Boston College, Dench from Harvard ties it on the beautiful pass in front from Amanda Kessel. And that top line for New York, so much pressure on them this season to produce, and they have so far and tied the game up at 1. Puck played all the way down. Lannis trying to get after it. Played behind the net now. Boston trying to get something going here after losing their early 1-0 lead. Kessel on the top line, back out there again now. An opportunity here for Weber, streaking down the right side. Weber trying to get in one-on-one. The shot saved by a rebound out in front. Dench just couldn't get there. Puck is played down into the corner. Fritz Ward, who's come onto the ice, played it there, but no Riveter was in sight. And the Pride will try to get at the center, having some trouble. And the Riveters, you can see the difference between last year and this season with the way they're handling the puck much better and really answering the Pride's pressure so far.
Yeah, they haven't spent much time in their own zone, which is obviously a distinct difference from last season.
Burke brings it down the left-hand side, passes it out in front, and the shot just goes wide. They are not going the wrong way, but they were not able to connect. Ketchum sent it towards the front, and no Riveter is there, and the Pride will again try to get to the center, and they can't. Great forechecking by New York so far. Pelkey gets it to the center line and tries to get it down ice, but she'll shoot it into the bench. And we will have a timeout here with 14:10 to go here in the first period. So this is a media timeout. The players will go to their benches, and we're going to take a quick break. 1-1 the score here in Buffalo between the Riveters and the Pride. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the broadcast here on Cross Ice Pass, part of NWHL.Zone. 1-1 here in Buffalo between the Pride and the Riveters. Alex Carpenter scoring first for the Pride, and then only minutes later did Mie Dench score her first professional goal to tie it at 1. The faceoff will come at center, and this broadcast and this opening weekend brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Face-off won by New York, and they will once again continue to try to ramp up that pressure and that forecheck on Ott and the defense of the Pride. Puck played into the corner. Russo and Rafter battling after it. And it's played along the boards, and the Pride again having trouble getting it out of the zone. Very good pressure here from New York. As the puck is passed around, Duggan trying to get after it, and she gets hit along the boards. Picard steps up from her defensive spot on the left-hand point, but it's intercepted, and here come the Pride 3-on-2 if they can hurry here. Duggan makes a back pass. Here's an opportunity, and a shot saved by Shin. Left a rebound there out in front. And again, the battle for it. Rafter hits the ice. Play will continue here. There have been no penalties called in the game so far as we have 13:20 to go in the first period. Shot just goes over the glove of Shin and off the glass behind the net. Picked up there, Dempsey. Dempsey whips a shot, saved by Shin with the glove, and she'll stop play with 13:13 to go in the first.
Yeah, it was important for Shin to get the puck and control it and trap it. She's given up a few rebounds that might be worrisome, but nerves might be playing a part in that too. As the game settles in, she might settle down.
Ott has left some rebounds as well, and you know that she's been through a lot in her career, so nerves I would not think is a factor, but rebounds certainly have come up big here early in this game. The Pride scoring on one to get the early lead before Dench's goal tied it up. McMillan plays it at center, but it's intercepted by Decker. Decker with some nice moves there, able to get free, and now an opportunity again for the Pride. Pass across, and they could not get the Hickle as that puck was knocked off her stick. Good play there by Dench to knock it away, so she's shown the offensive skill and done a good job defensively getting back as a forward. Kessel tries to make a defensive play, but can't steal the puck. Played out in front and eventually intercepted by McMillan, and there is Kessel to play at the center. Pride with it now. Again, they're getting much better pressure here. Puck nearly gets out of the zone, but Bender and the Pride have to play it back, and now the Riveters have it, and they'll look to get restarted here as they make a line change. Kessel sends it in deep. She'll come off the ice as the Ott has to make a stop. Puck played towards the middle, nearly intercepted by Fritz Ward. At least she knocked it away and stunted the opportunity for the Pride to get out of the zone. Pass across and trying to maybe force a deflection off a defenseman were the Riveters. And again, they keep it in. There's a shot, and it is deflected off the glass. So the Pride having all kinds of trouble, and this is something I certainly didn't see in the games I did for Boston last year. They're having trouble getting out of the zone, as the Riveters have certainly made their will, and we will have our first penalty of the game. It's going to be a hook. And looks like the first power play of the game will go to the Pride.
The Pride went 0 for 4 last night against Buffalo, so it's not that they're not dangerous 5-on-4, but they're equally dangerous 5-on-5, scoring all 4 goals at even strength. So it'll be, and this is a new look Riveters, so their first look at the penalty kill unit.
So Ketchum is called for hooking, and so the Pride, and there's a play that goes off the netting. Let's see if they say that it deflected, and it looks like that's exactly what they'll call, so they'll just face it off again.
Yeah, it hit the glass. Duggan is arguing, but I don't think she's going to win that.
Referees have already made their choice, not even talking it over.
The fans waiting eagerly under the puck that got stuck in the netting, hoping for it to drop.
Waiting for a souvenir. The Pride with a great power play a year ago, as Eric mentioned, 0 for 4 last night. They'll try to get their first one tonight. Marvin sends it across. She'll get it back for the top of the blue line. Now to Carpenter on the right circle. Sends it down low. Pass out in front, and it's deflected high off the glass. Oh, and a big hit behind the net. And the referee saying play on. Carpenter sends it back. Marvin losing it off her stick. And an opportunity here. Otto going to come way out of her net and clear it away. Good job by Ott helping out. Basically, it's like a sixth player out there, another defender, if you will. Puck played down by Boston, and they'll look to set it up again. Played across, and it's intercepted by McMillan. And there's going to be a tripping call coming up here, and we're going to play 4-a-side for the next minute and 14 seconds, barring any other penalties.
Boston is being unusually aggressive. Blake Bolden was very deep on that, leaving Megan Duggan back to cover the point, but she was coming back from her line. So her real only play was to reach back behind with her stick and got a hold.
So you take a look at the replay.
Here. Duggan just reaches back, trying to deflect the puck away, and hauls down Ketchum.
So 4-on-4 for the next minute and 14 seconds, again barring any other penalties, and then New York would have a power play for about 46 seconds. So the ice will open up just a bit, and it certainly has for the Pride so far. Hickle takes a shot. It just goes wide as Shin lets it go. Goes all the way back to the blue line, and it's sent in there by Gagliardi. McMillan has it, tries to make a behind the back pass, and Shin ends up with the puck and has to play it back off the boards. Grushow will send it across. Looking for Dench, but Dench cannot connect, and the Pride will take it back, and the Pride have certainly come alive since that media timeout. Decker with it now. Decker in open ice, always dangerous. The right-hand side, pass across. There's a shot saved by Shin as Hickel able to wrist that one through, but it would look like a clean look for Shin. No one in front, and she makes the glove save with 10:24 to go here in the first period and 33 seconds to go on the 4-on-4.
Yeah, it seems like New York should have gotten a little spark by getting that extra penalty, but Boston's carried the momentum through their original power play.
The New York power play unit 30 seconds away from taking the ice. But right now, Boston's got a shot save made by Shin again. Bolden from the top of the blue line, able to get that one through.
A good look playing it back and then across, and a quick shot off of the faceoff. Like I said, Boston's speed is going to be their best tool tonight.
Shin has been solid when she's been able to see the puck. Got beat on a rebound opportunity. That led to the only Boston goal so far. Again, the Pride, it's 4-on-4. They're playing it like a power play. Bender sends it in. That puck is deflected away. The power play for Boston that they had before it became 4-on-4 has about 7 seconds remaining before New York takes over 5-on-4. Lannis with it now, plays it into the corner. Rafter chasing after her with Picard. Rafter chasing after it. The power play for Boston that they originally had is over, so 5-on-4 now for New York. Let's see if the Riveters can get something going here with the extra attacker.
Might have wanted to see Boston play it back into their own zone there instead of dumping it deep into the New York zone, just to try to kill a little bit more time. But only 30 seconds left for New York, and they're having trouble getting out of their zone with no one covering them. So
Burke has to play it back, and Picard will have it, being pressured by Dempsey, who now backs off, and here comes New York with 15 seconds to go on their first power play of the season. Ketchum gets it over to Packer. Packer tries to send it across, and one of the Riveters players was sliding down and could not get back onto her feet. 3 seconds to go on the power play, and Duggan is out of the box, and even strength, each team 0 for 1 so far. Pass out in front, and the shot just goes wide. So again, the Riveters getting bodies to the front of the net, but that one did not connect. Right back the other way, go the Pride. Duggan sends it across. Beautiful opportunity, and an even better stop by Kaylee Fratkin. That's why they brought her here to New York, as she is able to make the stop. Shot sent in, and Ott decides not to catch it, or at least whiffed on it. Either way, the puck goes behind the net. And we played at the blue line by Duggan, as again, the forechecking of New York continues to frustrate the Pride, but they're getting out of the zone much easier. Duggan sends it across. Decker with it now. Decker goes behind the net. Gets stick checked, but still holds on to the puck. This is Boston Pride hockey right now, dominating the possession, moving the puck around. Bolden tries to make a pass down along the goal line. Shin right there, shot, and it is stopped by Shin. Close-in opportunity, and she was hugging the post.
Decker thought she had that top corner, but Shin took it away. It was a great save by Shin, hopefully a confidence booster. She's looking a lot more calm now that she's got 10 minutes of professional hockey under her belt.
8:13 to go here in the first period. 1-1 your score. Carpenter and Dench, the goal scorers so far. Puck played back to Bolden off the faceoff. Shot deflected twice and just went wide of the net. It was going to go way wide, and that second deflection nearly sent it towards the far post. Puck played at the blue line and kept in by Boston, and the Pride continuing to get a lot of pressure here and can keep the puck in the zone. Decker in the slot, tries to get through, can't. The puck is batted around in the air, and Russo has it, and she will send it to center. Rafter got to stay on side. He does barely by just her skate blade. And an interception by Picard, who came out of the neutral zone to make that play, but Boston ends up with the puck, and they'll play it to center. Here comes Decker again, 1-on-2. She'll spin away, and will now move it out of the zone as the Pride complete their line change and get set up here, as Decker deciding to come off the ice with the rest of her line mates. Top unit out there for New York right now. Amanda Kessel, Weber, and Dench with Fratkin and Picard on defense. Puck played down behind the net. Ott's got it. Weber with the pressure. Now Battleford in the corner. Chance out in front. Shot. Oh, just goes wide. Great opportunity again for the Riveters. Another shot, and Weber could not come up with a deflection off the opportunity from Johnston. Weber again. She has been a force so far tonight with the forecheck. And the puck trying to get the center, and it will. And the Riveters will have to regroup. Kessel waits. And now we'll bring it across the blue line. On sides, Kessel in the right circle. The pass is deflected away behind the net. Kessel with it again. Waits. Makes the pass. Almost a chance here. Shot saved by Ott. Still loose. And picked up there by Boston, but the Riveters able to keep it in the zone. Grushow chasing after it. And now Boston has it, and they'll move it to center as the puck goes past Johnston and all the way down the ice. And an icing is called with 6:19 to go here in the first period. In the score 1-1, shots on goal so far. The Pride with 8 and the Riveters with 6. And it looks like we're going to have a penalty here. Emily Field heading to the penalty box. Now she exits said penalty box. And the referees decide to move the face-off.
This is bad for Boston. That was a very long shift of a lot of consistent pressure. New York got 2 or 3 line changes in while they held the zone. So these Boston players are tired. That icing is going to hurt them.
New line out there for New York. Grushow taking the face-off. Ketchum and Fritz Ward on the wing. Shot deflected down by one of the Pride defenders. As it played behind the net, Fritz Ward can't corral it. And the Pride will move it up the center again where McMillan has it. And the Riveters nearly get it in the zone, but it's turned over. Here comes Pelkey streaking down the right side. She waits to shot high and into the netting with 5:59 to go here in the first. We will have a media timeout, so we will oblige with a commercial. We will be right back on NWHL Cross Ice Pass. 5:58 to go in the first period. 1-1 your score.
I definitely saw a body jump on the puck.
I saw the ref's arms go up. Our coach throws his arms up. He's like, penalty shot!
Penalty shot!
I was like a toddler on the bench. I was jumping up and down. I heard Bobby say, Hillary, you're going to take it. And I turned and I said, we won. We just won this game.
And we're back. Don't forget to stop down tomorrow afternoon before the Buffalo Buttes take on the Connecticut Whale. We've got the NWHL Futures Tournament featuring some U10, U12, and U14 hockey. And that extends through Monday, where the U8s will take the ice for their bracket of the tournament. Matt, what do you think of the game so far?
Well, it's been a very exciting game so far. Obviously, the Stars have certainly come out to play with Dench and Carpenter making their presence felt early on. Boston has certainly regained some of the momentum, but New York's forecheck certainly has been strong to this point. Face-off won by Boston. Marvin tries to move it down ice, but nobody home, and it's intercepted behind the net by New York, and they will move it to center. Very competitive, very fun game so far in Game 2 here from Buffalo, New York, the Harbor Center, the host of the opening weekend tournament, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. And it's certainly been a good game so far. New York and Boston, a rivalry that transcends sports really between the two cities. So Marvin with it, brings it across the blue line, sends it behind the net. Fratkin going to get there first, continues to move it around, but Boston able to get there first. Shot deflected, and Shin at the last second saw it and able to corral that puck right on the Riveter logo. And there'll be a stoppage for a face-off with 5:18 to go in the first, still 1-1.
That was a dangerous deflection by Duggan. The puck kind of flipped up and was bouncing. It was good of Shin to be out on top of the crease, just get down in front of it and swallow it up whole.
Take a look at the replay here of that opportunity as we're back to live action after the face-off, and you see the deflection on Shin. And New York will move it to center, but Boston intercepts. Decker plays it at center, waits, sends it across, and it's going to be a turnover. Here comes Kessel with a one-on-one. Amanda Kessel gets knocked off the puck. Good defense there from Bolden. Always a scary proposition when Amanda Kessel has got one-on-one opportunity, but Bolden up to the task and knocks the puck away. Turnover in the neutral zone. McMillan's got it. She gets it to Fritz Ward. Fritz Ward shot just goes past Ott, blockered away by the Pride goaltender and played into the corner. Boston moves it up ice, near turnover, but it's picked up there. And here comes the top unit for Boston. Hickel with it. Hickel brings it down the right side, waits, and will turn it over again as Ketchum's got it. Ketchum has it. Player goes down. That was Hickel, but no arms are up, and they'll continue to play. Now a whistle and looked like for an offsides.
So we're seeing a lot of things that we talked about in the pregame. New York is really putting the pressure on Boston, and it's causing them to make some mental mistakes. And, so we've seen the turnovers. New York has taken advantage of one mistake, and I think they'll continue to do so as the game progresses.
4:14 to go here in the first, still 1-1. Boston scored first, New York tied it. Opportunity here, a short 2-on-1. Pass across, and it could not connect as Lanus was driving the net. 4 minutes to go here in the first. Still 1-1, and Boston has a chance here, played out in front. Shin goes across. Looked like she's able to at least get a stick on it, and now New York will bring it to center. Russo battling for it along the left-hand boards. Chasing after the puck now. Boston still in possession as Pelkey has it, and will send it across. Puck bounced up into the air. Dench trying to knock it down, does. Now Rafter's got it. Rafter plays into the left corner. Still has possession, tries to make a pass, and ends up going all the way back to the blue line in Picard. Now Fratkin. Fratkin takes a shot, just goes wide. Looked like it may have been deflected in front. Kessel sends it towards the middle, but the puck knocked away from Dench immediately. So the Pride know to make sure to keep the puck off her stick, and they will move it to the blue line and will now dump it in. Does Bellamy. Carpenter plays it towards the middle, but nobody home, and the Pride will watch the puck go back to center. Nearly 6 players on the ice for the Pride, and they were able to just get off the ice in time. Carpenter shot saved by Shin. That was a great shot by Carpenter. Moving backwards, somehow able to get a stick on it and fire a low laser that Shin was able to stop. That is the talent of Alex Carpenter right there, and she certainly showed it right on that shot.
That was a great series there, almost a dangerous play. And here's the play from Carpenter. Puck's just a little off, but she still manages to get a good, solid, low shot, and Shin comes up with the save.
Shin certainly has looked strong when she's been in position, was out of position on that replay, on that first goal, and was able to, it could not make the stop, but she's been good pretty much ever since. 2:38 to go in the first period, still 1-1. Riveters battling for it. Fritz Ward goes down to the ice, and the puck is played to center by Burke, and now over to McMillan. McMillan sends it all the way down. Ott will stop it, and New York having trouble getting set up here, Eric. They're getting the puck in deep, but their forecheck has not been as effective as it was earlier in the game.
Yeah, Boston, Bobby J, like we talked about earlier, is a fantastic coach, and I know after every player comes off the ice, he's talking to them about what they could do better on the next shift. They're making adjustments, and it's working out for them so far. New York's been able to maintain pressure.
Shot save made by Shin. Good opportunity there for the Pride. That one was just deflected away by the right pad of the South Korean goaltender. Dostal plays it behind the net, plays it off the boards and out of the zone. Here's an opportunity on a rolling puck. Who's going to get there first? New York will. Shot save made by Ott, and that was an awkward shot, and he needed a little bit more of an awkward save as well as Packer went down and looked like she took a knuckle puck shot there, and Ott had a little trouble knocking it down, but she did make the save.
Yeah, she got handcuffed on that. Good shot by Packer. The flipping puck, knuckle puck as you coined it, and a little bit of some solid action after the play, but none worse for the Wiser.
Face-off won by Boston. They've certainly been the better team on the face-offs here in the first period. Hickel battling for it at center, and the loose puck ends up on the stick of Decker. Decker brings it down the right side, playing it behind the net, waiting for a teammate to come out. Now does. Now it's played towards the middle, and a shot deflected away. Decker was looking for a teammate, didn't find one, but it did end up on the stick of the Pride. Now here comes Kessel down the left side. Kessel waits. The pass is deflected away into the corner. Kessel will get there first, but is ridden off the puck. Played towards center, and the Pride have it. And now here comes Boston. They can get a 3-on-2 if they hurry here. Nice back pass. Opportunity here. Pass down, though, instead of taking the shot. And the Pride lose that odd man rush. 1 minute remaining here in the first period. 1-1 your score from Buffalo's Harbor Center in Game 2 of this NWHL opening weekend extravaganza. 47 seconds to go here in the first. Still 1-1. Puck played behind Ott's net. She'll send it down, but Riveters again trying to get that forecheck going here. Puck played towards the blue line. McMillan winds up. Shot is blocked. Here comes Lanus with it. Lanus trying to be joined by Pelkey. Lanus waits. Still has it. Tries to find Pelkey playing behind her and could not, and it's turned over. And New York, if anything, will at least push it back into the Boston zone with 20 seconds to go. Shots are 10-8 so far in favor of the Pride here in the first period. The score 1-1. Puck played off the stick of Bolden by Gruschow. She'll play it to center. Knocked down by Boston, and they'll get restarted again with 6 seconds to go. See if they decide to make one more rush. Looks like they will not. Puck played behind the net, and that will do it for the first period of action with the Pride and Riveters tied at 1 apiece. And Eric, your initial thoughts on that first period? Good start for Boston. New York gets an answer, which is, I think, really huge for them. And then the game started to kind of get into the flow of things. And Boston certainly, I think, had the better of it the last 11 minutes or so of that period.
Yeah, but that's not to take anything away from New York, who's really held their own. They've gotten consistent offensive zone time, which is not something that the team is used to in any way, shape, or form. And whatever it is that Wiseman is doing, they're doing it well so far. Keeping Boston to 1 goal and then being able to get that equalizer, that was key. And they did it almost right away, and even the playing surface for the rest of the game.
Let's talk about that goal by Dench, and that was really a big one because when Boston gets a lead, they can really clamp down and just dominate with their possession play, but New York was able to answer. How big do you think that goal was for New York to get it so quickly after Boston took a lead?
They had to do it almost immediately, and they took care of business. That first line that we talked about with Kessel,
Dench, and Weber.
Yeah, Kessel, Dench, and Weber, and we're going to be showing the first period goals here. Here's the one from Boston.
You're going to take a look here, and you're going to see that, again, that superior puck movement, and the shot just gets deflected and ends up in the net on the stick of Alex Carpenter with a wide open net.
And then coming back here is that ever important New York goal.
And we're having just a little bit of difficulty, but we promised they happened. We were here. They did happen, the goals. And again, we'll take a look again at the Pride goal. You're going to see the shot goes in towards net and eventually ends up on the stick of Carpenter, and she was able to put it in. And then Dench slammed that stick on the ice too. I mean, that's good teamwork. Kerr and Kessel did not play, with each other in college. Kessel at Minnesota, Dench in Harvard, but the practice time here with the Rivs, the preseason time, Dench is slapping that stick on the ice, and Kessel finds her, and Dench puts it in the back of the net.
Yeah, great communication, and somehow Boston still didn't notice Dench back there with the stick slam. So, just unlucky for the Pride, very lucky for New York, and also a great play. And it was a great play along the boards to keep that puck in the zone, Packer falling, pushing the puck forward to Kessel. So, that line's really come together. Great chemistry. Obviously, they didn't play together last season. And, they're making things happen out here tonight.
What's the key for the second period first for Boston?
They've got to regain that edge that they get with their speed. They're getting trapped in their zone. They're being pressured and making mistakes. So they need to get that speed, get that puck through the middle of the ice, and get the breakaways that they need to score on.
And for New York?
The opposite. They need to keep pressuring Boston, keep forcing those mistakes, and take advantage of the pucks when they come out off of Ott's pads, which she seems to be giving up some rebounds tonight.
See, it's easy enough. If one team wants to do something, the other team should do the opposite to try to stop them. See, hockey's not that hard of a sport.
Score more goals. That's all you have to do.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we come back. I did a couple of interviews earlier before the game with Alex Carpenter, Megan Duggan, and Brianna Decker, so stick around for that. It's 1-1 here in Harbor Center. We'll be right back with more of the intermission report right after this.
All right, hey, we're ready, you guys. We're ready, all right? We said all we really need to say, too. Play to win. Don't be tight. Enjoy it. Just go. Trust one another. We got awesome power in this room together, right? You guys are the best team here. Don't worry about mistakes. We're all going to make them, but we're going to make more great plays than any mistakes we make. Same start. Here we go, ladies.
Casey Bellamy, she has the vision. Oh yeah, it was an absolute beauty of a pass.
Bellamy looks to send the pass out of the zone, a brilliant feed.
I think Decker had 2 girls pressuring her.
Up the middle to Decker, here comes Decker, in, shoot, scores! A gorgeous outlet sets up Decker, and the Pride lead it 1-0.
There's always a sense with Decker and Niter on ice in the penalty kill that someone's going to score.
I know every time that they're on the ice that they're going to make something happen. They don't care if they're on a PK.
Here's Knight shorthanded. Knight in alone. Deke shoots. Save. McLaughlin. Oh, what a stop. Keeps it 1-0. Gives it back. And Decker scores.
The dynamic duo obviously does it again.
14-21.
Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Matthew Falkenberry alongside Pride forward Megan Duggan. And Megan, thank you for joining us. And what was it like playing your first game with the Pride back here in Buffalo after you were with the Buttes last season?
No, it was great. I mean, I got a lot of love for this building. Obviously, it was good to me last year, and you know, Buffalo loves its sports team. So, fun atmosphere in the building last night. Obviously, you know, good for us on the Boston side to get the win. Just looking forward to tonight's game as well. There's
a lot of pressure on the Pride this season. A lot of people expect the Pride to repeat as champions. How does that play in the locker room between all the girls? I mean, is it something where they're able to, you know, just take that pressure and work with it, or, you know, is there something else to it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for those girls that were on the roster last year for the Pride, obviously super exciting for them, you know, capturing that first Isabel Cup, and I think those guys and our team in general, you use that as a confidence booster coming in, but, you know, last year was last year. Obviously, we wanted to start the season off on the right foot last night with a W, and you know, we'll hopefully go after the Riveters tonight as well, but you focus on today, on the game at hand, and you know, just move forward from there.
Last year, a brand new league, everything was so new. Now it's the second year. Is there more of a routine now that the second year has come and, you know, everyone's now getting ready for the regular season?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you know, first year, you're just feeling each other out, trying to get a feel of the league and the travel and everything like that. I think it's a little bit, you know, more so old hat this year. Everyone knows what the trips are going to be like, and the hotel and the rinks and everything like that. So a little bit more comfort, you know, but we feel good. We're excited and happy to be here. It's a great weekend for hockey, and looking forward to tonight's game.
And lastly, the Four Nations Cup is coming up soon. You guys are looking to defend the championship. Just talk about what it's like to play with a lot of Team USA members, and also a couple of your teammates on Team USA you have to go up against, especially like tonight with Amanda Kessel. So what is that like, playing with your teammates on Team USA and then sometimes facing off against them and other teams?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're given a chance to represent the red, white, and blue, it's the greatest honor you can imagine. And we're all excited about that coming up in a couple of weeks. I think for us, we did it throughout college, same thing. You know, I played against Amanda in college. I played against a bunch of different girls in college, Haley Scrufa and Dana Trevino. We've played against them, you know, in summer leagues and things like that. So we're used to it. We're competitors. We go hard in the games. And then, you know, we were able to turn it around and be teammates and friends within a couple weeks. So.
Well, that's Megan Duggan. I'm Matt Falkenberry. We'll be right back after these words. I'm Matt Falkenberry alongside Alex Carpenter, the first draft pick in NWHL history. She was drafted by the New York Riveters, but is now forward with the Boston Pride. And Alex, go back to draft day. You were the first draft pick ever taken, like I just mentioned. What was that feeling like when you found out you were the #1 pick?
Yeah, it was definitely something pretty special. You know, obviously it was the first year of the draft, and I was pretty excited to see that I went #1 overall. You know, I obviously got traded to Boston, but, you know, to be drafted anywhere in that lineup was pretty amazing.
You make your debut on Friday, score a goal, pick up an assist, 2-point night, one of the few players ever to do that in league history. Making it look easy, just like you did in college. I mean, just what was that experience like getting out there for the first time in a regular season game?
Yeah, it was definitely pretty cool. You know, it's nice to get into a real game instead of those scrimmages, and you know, I think it was just a total team effort, you know, playing with Jillian Dempsey and Megan Duggan. They made my life easy on the ice, so it was nice to see we had a total team contribution during that game.
Is there a little bit extra motivation playing the team that drafted you and then ended up trading you away tonight against the Riveters?
Yeah, I hope there's no hard feelings there, but obviously, you know, I made the decision to go to Boston, but, you know, we're excited to see what New York has. They picked up a lot of great players, and it's going to be a good game tonight.
You come in as a rookie to the defending champions. Do you feel that there's a lot of pressure for yourself to live up to the hype and get the team back to another Isabel Cup?
Yeah, I don't think that there's too much pressure on that. I think it's coming in and trying to meld with the team. You know, they had great chemistry last year, and coming in and trying to find your place on that team, I think that's the biggest thing.
In the World Championships, you scored the game-winning goal in overtime to beat Team Canada, a team that has given the United States a lot of fits. Just tell me what that feeling was like when you knew that puck had gone in and you had won a World Championship with Team USA.
It was pretty surreal, you know. That was a lucky bounce. It was sitting right there, and I was able to get there. But, you know, it's what you dream of as a little kid, to be able to score that game-winning goal. And, you know, it was a pretty special moment for my teammates and I.
Four Nations Cup is coming up, and I've already asked Megan and Brianna about this, so I'll ask you too. Now, you've played with a lot of these girls on Team USA. Now you get a chance to do the same here with the Pride, and you also go up against a few, including Amanda Kessel with the Riveters. Just talk about what it's like to play with your teammates on Team USA and the same team in Boston, and to go up against some teammates like Amanda with the Riveters.
Yeah, obviously in the league, you know, everybody's out for blood here, and we're playing as hard as we can for our team here, and then, you know, when we get to Team USA, it's a whole different atmosphere, and you come together as one. So I think it's pretty cool that you're able to turn from one end to the other in a couple weeks. That's
Alex Carpenter. I'm Matt Falkenberry. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Matthew Falkenberry alongside Brianna Decker. And Brianna, last year you had an amazing season. You won MVP. You were the star of Game 2 of the finals, helping the Pride win a championship. Looking back on last season, I mean, what was that feeling like, just knowing every night you were just so dominant and so special out there every single night? Everyone knew that you were the one that was going to get the puck alongside Hillary Knight, and they couldn't stop you.
Honestly, I think you look at our team, we had a lot of depth, and so you know, I was playing with Hillary Knight and Jordan Smelker for most of the year, and I give a lot to them. They were easy to work with and moved the puck really well.
What was it like when the clock ran down in Newark and you knew that the championship was going to be yours?
Honestly, my first thought was we're bringing the cup back to Denna, and our whole season was dedicated to her. I think that she's such a strong woman, and it was awesome to bring the cup back right to her hotel room, her hospital room.
Talk about the start of last night, the game. The guys played really well. You were kept off the score sheet, but the team still scores 4 goals and wins the game. Just speak about the depth of the Pride right now.
Yeah, I think that's one of our keys to this season is our depth. We have 3 solid lines, and anybody can put the puck in the net. So, yeah, it's nice to know that I can be off the score sheet and our team still get a victory. I'm not too concerned, though. I mean, you look at Carpenter and Duggan coming into our roster. I think that's a huge step for our team to continue our success.
What is it like having Megan Duggan come to Boston, captain of Team USA? You've obviously played with her internationally. Now that she gets to be your teammate here, you don't have to go up against her like you did in the finals. What does she bring to the table?
She's quite the leader. I think I played with her at Wisconsin for a year, and you know, I think, yeah, I might be wearing the C, but she's also a person who just leads out there regardless of who's wearing the letter. So I give a lot to her. I'm glad she's on our team, and I'm glad I'm not playing against her every game.
Team USA is going to defend the Four Nations Cup in a few weeks, and I asked Megan about this. I'm curious what you think. The teammates that you have on the Pride, a lot of them play for Team USA, but there are a few around the league that you are not teammates with. They're on the Riveters, for example, like Amanda Castle. Talk about what it's like to play with your teammates from Team USA and also play against a few against them in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's a good opportunity for us to, you know, play good talent throughout the league every game. So it's like nice to have our U.S. girls kind of spread out throughout the teams. But obviously, I'm looking forward to Four Nations as well. It'll be nice to connect with some of those girls and hopefully get to play on their line and whatnot.
That was Brianna Decker. I'm Matt Falkenberry. We'll be right back. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Before the face-off, we're talking, and Dempsey's like, "Gee, I'm gonna win the puck. Back to you. You shoot. I'll go to the net with my stick on the ice and try to tip it in." It ended up working almost exactly how she drew it up. She just went crazy celebrating.
Wasted no time, really, 4 seconds into the 4-on-4.
That's something I love about Dems. She genuinely celebrates.
I love grinding shifts. I just love them because I love beautiful goals too, all right? And we've scored some beautiful goals. But I've seen so many players in my day that don't have both. They don't have both, okay? They can make beautiful plays at times, but they don't have it, you know, the other part where we have both. And I think that's awesome, all right? That's a complete player, complete team. Just keep it simple, all right, you guys?
Yeah, there was some bad blood. I'm not exactly sure why. I might have started with that first game, kind of got off on the wrong foot.
And welcome back to the broadcast here from the Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. This is the NWHL on Cross Ice Pass. Your score at the end of one period of play, the Boston Pride won and the New York Riveters won. Alongside Eric, I am Matt. We've got 2 minutes before the players hit the ice and get ready for the second period. Alex Carpenter scoring her second of the season in the first period to give the Pride the lead, but Mia Dench answering with her first professional goal to even the score at 1. You saw some of the promos that we've been running so far through the game, and of course that is the NWHL documentary, the 2015-16 Boston Pride, A Dream Born with Isabel, narrated by actress Julia Stiles. Of course, history began last year, and the Pride winning the championship over Buffalo last March in New Jersey, and you can relive their championship run by downloading the film on NWHL.zone. So Eric, we went over
to talk about it, Matt.
Eric, of course, who covers the Buttes for today's slap shot, and will be doing color for the Buttes all season long. Of course, I'll be doing Riveters games this year out of Newark, New Jersey. Their debut at the Barnabas Health Hockey House. Of course, the Harbor Center here hosting the Buttes this year, and the Pride will play in a new arena as well at Warrior, the practice facility of the Boston Bruins. And Eric, we talked about this off air. When you think about the NHL connections these teams have, the Riveters are connected with the New Jersey Devils, the Pride and the Bruins, the Buttes and the Sabres. You got 3 strong NHL connections with this league, and one day you hope that the NHL does get more involved with this league moving forward, but they're so far so good. 3 of 4 teams, the Whale on their own in Connecticut, but doing just fine in their new arena up in Northford. You know, it's really great to see the connections between the 2 leagues.
Yeah, I mean, it was brilliant strategy by the league as they decided for cities to have it in, especially Buffalo being hockey heaven, but you know, Boston obviously another real strong market, and the Riveters, you know, just the cross between Jersey and New York right there, catching a lot of fans. You know, it couldn't really come up with a better way to get things started.
Getting back to the game at hand as the players taking the ice and getting ready for the face-off. We talked about it before the break, but for those just getting back from the intermission, checking back in on their computers, what's the biggest key for the second period? Both sides, what's the one thing you need to see from each team?
Speed from Boston and puck possession from New York.
And we'll see if that will take place. Weber to take the face-off against Dempsey as we begin the second period. New York going from left to right on your computer or phone screens, or even if your televisions. And the Pride going right to left. Interception by Kessel. Kessel brings it on the right side. Shot just goes high. Ott was going down. The shot was going up, but Kessel could not find the top corner. But again, Amanda Kessel taking that turnover and turning it into a great opportunity. Another chance here. Weber gets over to Kessel in the left circle. Her shot saved, made by Brittany Ott. Right away, Amanda Kessel with 2 shots, and Ott's been up to the task.
Yeah, one thing that I don't think that we really mentioned was that New York's speed has increased indefinitely. It's almost indescribable at this point. We've got the replay of the play here. Kessel picks off the puck in the neutral zone and puts a dangerous shot up high on Brittany Ott.
Puck played in, save made by Ott on the shot by Picard, who made basically a spinning shot and was able to get it in on net. Now that puck will go all the way down, the arm is up. This should be icing right about now as the whistle blows officially to mark the icing, and the face-off will come all the way back into the Boston zone in the left-hand circle on your screen to the right of Brittany Ott.
And you made mention Boston really controlled play in the last 11 minutes of the first period, but it's been all New York so far in the early going.
Rafter wins the face-off, but no one home, so it played out the center. That's a win for Boston. Picard does get to the puck first, but it did clear the zone. Picard sends it across. Packer has it, waits, loses it at the blue line, and here comes Boston once again for their first good opportunity of the second period as they play it into the corner. Played behind the net. Battle for it now. A couple of players converging as they try to dig the puck out of the corner. 3 Riveters for 1 Pride player. And the puck ends up on the stick of Fratkin, and she'll send down. The race for it, and it is an icing. A little bit of a late whistle, but the race won by Boston. And so they'll have a face-off in the New York zone. So a couple of icings here in the first minute 17 seconds of the second period.
Yeah, I was saying earlier about the speed of New York, how they're really trying to make those stretch passes up to the center, get a nice tip, and send the far wing deep behind the net to get that puck.
Lannis tried to send it in the corner, and Boston does come up with it. Pass across down near the goal line. Pass out in front. A good opportunity, but the puck just bouncing off the stick of Field. Bellamy shot. Save made by Shin. Now Field with it. Field gets it back to the circle. Another shot. Goes off the side of the net, it looked like. And the Pride continuing to cycle the puck around. Another shot goes high in the air off to the side. And getting there first is Packers. He tries to clear the zone, but Pelkey keeps it in for the moment before Rafter intercepts. Rafter brings it to the blue line and sends in deep, now chasing after it as the Pride see the Riveters make a change. Boston plays it to the red line, tries to get it in deep, but Dostal gets a stick on it, knocks it into the corner, but the Pride able to get to the loose puck first. Johnston in the corner battling for it. She's got it, tries to move it up ice. Does for the moment. Can the Riveters clear it? They can. And now they'll move up as Grushow's got it. Grushow to the right circle. Waits, sends it across, intercepted. And here comes Boston. Now a stoppage for a penalty. And it looks like it's going to be on the Pride.
Marvin got tied up behind the net with Fritz Ward as they were both going strong to the net. Fritz Ward goes down and hard into the boards, so Marvin's going to spend 2 minutes in the box or less.
And if it's less, that would be a good thing for New York. So looked like interference was the call. Referee putting his arms in that X formation, signaling the interference. 17:39 to go. The first power play for New York that starts at the 2-minute mark. They are 0 for 1, only had about 46 seconds of power play time in that first period as the puck is deflected out of the zone.
This first power play unit, an interesting switch. We've got Packer out there with Ketchum and Kessel. Burke and Fratkin have the points.
Ketchum with really one of the most underrated shots in the National Women's Hockey League. She had a goal against Buffalo last year in what I've determined the Sunlight game back in February 14th. She was able to rip a shot from the right circle past McLaughlin of Buffalo and helped the Riveters end up getting a point in the shootout later on, and she'll be dangerous from that right circle. Kessel with it, passes it back to Fratkin. Fratkin also going to be very dangerous. She's going to be the quarterback of this power play as she goes in deep. Now Ketchum has it back to Fratkin at the right circle. Now up top to Burke. Burke sends it across to Kessel. Kessel at the top of the point. Now back to Burke. Good pressure here from Boston. Fratkin nearly lost it, but Ketchum's got it below the goal line. Ketchum back up top to Fratkin. Fratkin shoots, deflected off the glass. Did not get all the way through to Ott, but a good opportunity for New York. Burke gets it at the top of the left point. Shot deflected down and off the back behind the net. Big hit, penalty coming, and it's going to be against New York.
Yeah, that was Fratkin going hard in the corner on Carpenter, and she looks a little bit dazed. I hope she's all right. But she got a hold of the puck first, but definitely came through, and I think that's going to be a checking call.
So with 1:02 remaining on the power play for New York, that will be taken off the board, and in place will be a 4-on-4 for the next 62
seconds. Got to look at the penalty here. Fratkin following through, taking Carpenter off her feet and into the boards.
So Fratkin in the box. And that's a big loss for New York. Not only does their power play for the moment go away, but they lose one of their best defenders in Fratkin. So 4-on-4 once again, 16:40 to go here in the second period. Still 1-1, no scoring here in the second period so far. Shots on goal, 11 apiece. They were 10-8 in favor of Boston. Shot saved by Shin. Good opportunity there for Decker. Off the faceoff, able to get some room, but shot it right into the Rosie the Riveter crest of Shin.
Yeah, tough for Dench to lose that faceoff, and Boston's going to take advantage of that anytime they can.
Faceoff won by Boston again. Bender with it now, number 5, sends it behind the goal line, and McMillan tries to work the puck around. Gets it to Johnston, and we'll be back up again on the stick of McMillan, trying to send a home run pass, and she hits Fritz Ward. Fritz Ward's in. She shoots. Saved by Ott.
Ott showed her the 5-hole, and she just took it away, sending Fritz Ward flailing into the corner of the boards.
Here's Decker with it now. Decker shot. She scores. On one end, Ott stops it. The other end, Decker scores her first of the season, and the Pride take a 2-1 lead with 16:07 to go here in the second period.
Tough to see. Shin stayed with one of the most dangerous scorers in the league, but it hits her left pad and rolls up over and in. And I noted earlier, but I didn't mention anything about it, her ribbed pads, a little bit strange for how goaltenders wear them now, and I have to wonder if that has something to do with it as we get another look. Decker makes one move, but Shin stays with her and gets the left pad on it, but it wasn't enough, and the puck ends up in the back of the net.
The momentum swing of hockey, you just saw it right there in a matter of seconds. Fritz Ward goes in alone, and Ott stones her, and then on the other end, Decker goes in and finds the back of the net, beating Shin to make it 2-1. So Boston gets their second lead of the game, and we'll see how New York answers here. We're still 4-on-4 for the next 10 seconds before Boston will now have a power play. Turnover in the neutral zone. Here comes Kessel. 7 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Kessel sends it back. There's Picard. The shot saved by Ott. Might have been deflected. Picard frustrated. Thought she could get back maybe to that rebound as Johnston kind of gives her a little tap on the shin. Words of encouragement from the captain. But Ott standing tall once again. That is just part of the reason why Brittany Ott really is the best goaltender in this league. She won that award last year, and she has come out really strong here in a game and a period and change.
Yeah, good reactive save. It looks like she lost sight of the puck, but was still able to get down in time and cover it up.
Bolden has it as the power play now begins for Boston. They've got 52 seconds and counting on their second power play of the game. New York 0 for 2, Boston 0 for 1 as the puck slowly goes in on Shin, and she'll cover for the faceoff. 15:24 to go. Still 2-1 in favor of Boston. Carpenter and Decker for the Pride, Dench for New York. You take a look at the Connecticut Whale. They'll be here tomorrow. They're here now, but they'll be playing tomorrow against the Buffalo Buttes. That's a rematch of a playoff series, an absolute classic that I got to be involved in as calling it, between Connecticut and Buffalo. Won by Buffalo after they lost game 1. Shot save made by Shin. Rebound opportunity. Pass across. A wide open net. It was off the stick at first, but Bolden's able to recover and put it home. The Pride are up 3-1, and this story looks a lot similar to last night. They were tied at the end of the first against Buffalo, then stormed for 4. They've got 2 so far.
Yeah, it seems like we talked about on Boston's first power play how Bolden was very aggressive in getting down low, and we'll see it again here on the replay. 3 riveters on the far side of the ice. The top point man, Packer, coming back to try to catch Bolden, but there's no way you can. She even fumbled the puck and didn't give enough time for Packer to get back.
Second time that a wide open net has been afforded the Pride, and they have buried them twice. So the Pride now up 3-1. And again, this story looking very similar to yesterday when Buffalo and Boston were tied with no goals after 1, and then Buffalo saw 4 go in the back of the net in the second. The Riveters tied it at 1, but now down 3-1. Dostal shot off the side of the post. That is a power play goal for Bolden, her first of the game. So 3 different goal scorers for Boston so far. 14:37 to go. 3-1 Boston in the lead, and they will get the puck, but Dostal able to keep it in. Now turnover, and here comes Boston again. Pelkey streaking down the left side. She waits, shot, deflected away off of, looked like the glove of Shin, as the puck is circled around again. And boy, Boston, you can just feel they have grabbed the momentum, and they're holding on to it with a very strongly right now. New York trying to get its bearings back together.
That's something we talked about earlier, taking advantage of your opportunities. Shots are 14-13, so in that aspect, it's still a close game, but Boston able to bury the puck obviously more frequently than New York so far.
Remember that save by Ott on Fritz Ward if this game continues on its current path. Decker sends it across, tries to get it back, can't. Now it's played towards the middle and ends up on the stick of Gagliardi, who gets it back again. Her shot deflected, Shin able to stop it right at the 5-hole and cover, as we have 13:44 to go here in the second. 3-1 Boston. We'll have a media timeout. We'll take a break as well. Boston up 3-1 on New York. We'll be right back. This is NWHL Cross Ice Pass.
Here we go. Go, Yellow. Boston! All right.
All right, and welcome back to the broadcast here on NWHL Cross Ice
I
Pass.
definitely saw
Alongside Eric, I am Matthew.
body
13:44 in the second period. 3-1. Your
go
score
up.
was 1-1 at the end of the first, but the Pride have come out firing here in the second period with 2 goals, and now have a face-off in the New York zone. Shots 15-13 in favor of Boston right now. Face-off in the left circle to the right of Shin. One back to the blue line. Boston dumps it in. They got to get on sides. They do, and now play it at center. Here's Decker with it. Decker waits, still has the puck. Great puck possession here from Decker. One of her strong points. Shot just goes wide, goes all the way around. Race for the puck, won by Boston, and they continue to hold on to the puck possession. Puck played all the way back to the blue line. Pass towards the middle off the stick of Decker, and New York will play it to center. Picard tries to send it in deep, got deflected by one of her teammates. Looked like Weber, who took a spill right near her bench. Puck played out the center, and Burke's got it. Burke over to Fritz Ward. Fritz Ward tries to take a shot as it deflected away. Now battling Gagliardi towards the back of the net. Boston picks up the loose puck. Still trying to get out of the zone. New York trying to get that forecheck going again, which was strong for parts of the first period, but certainly has not come into play here in the second. Eric, this is what you were looking for, the puck possession for Boston. They have really done a great job of doing just that, but for right now, Ketchum's got to catch him, tries to move to the middle. Her shot deflected down. It looked like it did not get through to Ott. Near turnover as Boston tried to stick handle and didn't work, and Ott sees the puck go wide. Played back to the blue line. Burke's got it. Burke waits, moves to the middle, deflected shot, gets knocked down, and Boston will move it to center before New York sends it in deep and will go for a change. They were offsides, but they touch up, and here come the Pride again.
This has been a great back and forth battle. It looks like New York's got momentum a little bit back on their side, and it's important for them to keep this and get a goal here. Don't let Boston score next. 3-goal deficit to the Boston Pride is deadly.
Puck nearly played on in front. Russo was streaking towards the net, would have had a chance there, but the puck was intercepted before it could get to Russo, and Boston escapes. And now, as one of the players looked like Duggan tumbling to the ice, able to get the puck to center as Bolden's got it. Dempsey chasing down. Johnston with it. Tries to play it to her partner Dostal on the defensive core. And now Rafter sends it to center. Chance here for the Rivs as that looks like that shot on the backhand deflected off the stick of Russo. She tumbles to the ice. No call. 11:10 to go here in the second period. 3-1. Boston in the lead. The Pride missing Hillary Knight for the second consecutive game with an injury. They certainly have not missed her just yet, just showing off the depth that this franchise currently has as they lead it 3-1. Here's Kessel down the right-hand side. Her shot, save made by Ott. She looked like she got crossed up as that shot went toward her mask. She was able to deflect it away and was able to knock it out of play. So we have a stoppage here for a moment as the teams will change up lines.
You mentioned Hillary Knight missing again for the second night in a row, but there's one player in particular that's made us basically not notice, and that's Alex Carpenter. She's had a pair of fantastic games and 2 goals to show for it.
And you see the replay there, and we get back to live action here. Dench trying to get the puck but can't. As the puck played towards the blue line, kept in by New York, onside, trying to get the pressure going, and they at least force a turnover in the neutral zone, but can they hold on to it? They will, but it ends up becoming an offsides in favor of New York, so a face-off coming outside of the New York defensive zone. 10:29 to go here in the second period. Boston 3, New York 1. 2 goals here in the second period. Decker and Bolden for Boston, giving the Pride their current 2-goal advantage. Gruschow comes down the left side, waits, gets taken off the puck, and here comes Boston as they move it to center, but a little too long. They race for an icing here, and it is won by New York. Thought maybe for a second they would wave it off. There was certainly an opportunity for New York to kind of slow down and maybe have the referee say no, but they do give the icing. So face-off coming back into the Boston zone with 10:08 to go here in the second.
That was a good individual play by Gruschow on the boards, playing it off to herself. Threw the defenseman off. I don't think she was expecting that, so Gruschow was able to take it into the zone and get a chance at an opportunity.
Face-off in the left circle, won again by Boston. We don't have the official face-off numbers, but I've got to believe they're certainly heavily in favor of the Pride, and that's something that New York is going to have to work on in this game. Opportunity, shot, saved by Shin. Oh, it went behind her, but the referee blew his whistle. That puck just squirting behind Shin. It was sitting in the crease just waiting for a Pride player to knock it in or a Riveter player to get it out of there.
Yeah,
but the ref blew the whistle quickly.
Trickled out from between the pads, and a quick whistle saves the Riveters a little bit there. Fields was on the doorstep waiting to bury that puck.
Shot 16-14 unofficially in favor of Boston.
And you see the puck from behind the net trickles out, and Fields sees it too. She almost gets there, but that quick whistle burned her.
Duggan has the puck now. The former Butte now with the Pride, the captain of Team USA, as they'll get ready for the Four Nations Cup coming up in November. That's all the way in Finland this year. Her and basically half the Pride team on Team USA, and Amanda Kessel from the Riveters, and a few others from around the league will join some of the Pride players in Finland trying to defend that Team USA championship from a year ago. Dempsey sends it across. Carpenter was open, but could not control the puck. She had a great chance if she was able to knock that puck down, but it goes in on Shin. She makes the stop. 9:14 to go. Still 3-1 Boston. And again, the play has been predominantly on the left side of the ice.
Yeah, great tic-tac-toe play coming out of the Boston zone. Duggan just chipping that puck to the middle, and Carpenter gets the chance, but just a little too far out of her reach.
Puck played in. It's loose again in the crease. Shin doesn't know where it is. A shot and a score. Another juicy rebound, and it looked like Decker was the one that knocked it home. And the Pride now lead it 4-1.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shin makes 2 saves, but 2 juicy rebounds, and then gets herself out of position. She's going down to the ice, falls down on her behind, and gets a leg up in the air, allows Decker to tuck that puck underneath and into the net.
You know, sometimes they say that when the person gets interviewed between the periods in the National Hockey League, it can bring them luck. We talked to Decker pregame. She's got 2. We talked to Carpenter
We've got to
pregame.
look at the play here. She makes 1 and then 2 really good saves, and Decker's able to tuck it home.
Big time goal there for the Pride. Carpenter has a goal. We talked to her before the game, and Decker with 2. So the luck of the pregame or intermission interviews working for the Pride so far. 4-1. Shot out in front. Deflected away. Boston again with another great opportunity. Second periods, they have outscored their opponents just 2 games into the year, 7-0. They have been a second period team, to say the least.
Yeah, and building up those 3-4 leads, it's going to be almost impossible to get back that many on this Boston team.
Decker brings it down again, looking for a hat trick. Sends it across field. Had it for a moment. Outshot save made by Shin. Might have been deflected before it got through. Either way, it's stopped by New York, and they'll move it up. Kessel brings it down the right side, brings it across the blue line. Makes the pass across for Dench. Dench plays it into the corner. Tries to bring it out in front. The puck is loose. And we have a stoppage as the net comes off its moorings with 8:05 to go in the second period. And the Pride with a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, the net came off when Marvin went hard at Dench behind the net, a little 19-on-19 crime to send that net flying into the back of the net.
So Decker, 2 goals tonight, the first 2 of the season for her. They are without Hillary Knight and certainly have not missed a beat without maybe the top player in this league, although there are certainly a lot of great players on all 4 teams. But Knight out with an injury, and Boston has put up 8 goals in 2 games without her, basically a game and a half. So certainly attesting to the depth of this team for Bobby J. Fritz Ward will send it in deep. Ott will play it behind her own net, waits for a teammate. And again, New York having a lot of trouble getting the puck and keeping it in their offensive zone. Gagliardi brings it across the red line. She's got some space, waiting, still waits. Pass across, opportunity, shot, score! That was absolute beautiful goal by the Pride. Gagliardi bringing it across, waits to make the pass, and the Pride have scored 4 again here in the second period in back-to-back nights as they are able to find Lannis on the doorstep. 5-1 Boston.
Here. Lannis crosses behind Gagliardi. Both defensemen fade to the puck, and Lannis is all alone. Shin's going to get the hook here. We see the kid, Fitzgerald, is going to take the net and maybe shake things up, get New York back into the game.
Well, the Pride have knocked 2 goalies out of their opening game, so Shin gives up 5-4 in the second period, and now Katie Fitzgerald out of St. Cloud State will take over in net.
A tough go for Shin, who didn't really play poorly, but Boston team like this, and exactly what we said, they're going to use their speed, and they got burned on it quite a bit.
Penalty coming up, it looks like to Boston. So the Rivs will have a power play opportunity to try to get back into this one.
That's a roughing on Duggan behind the play. A little bit of unnecessary contact. Duggan maybe known a little bit for that, an attempt to get under the other team's skin, but got caught doing it this time. And we've got our trivia question, Matt, if you want to take care of that.
Yeah, right. And which defenseman had the most points last season? Is it A, Kaylee Fratkin, B, Emily Falzer, C, Casey Bellamy, or D, Gigi Marvin? The first person to answer this question correctly using the comment section in Facebook Live will get a shout out from us saying that they were the first ones to get it right. So is it A, B, C, or D? We'll give you that answer in the third period.
I heard you were going to record their outgoing message as the prize.
That is something that I think I'll save for the Rivs home opener. So we'll just see about that. But again, we'll see if who can get that trivia answer, and we'll reveal that in the third period. So timeout here on the ice as the power play will commence once the players come back onto the ice. 6:52 to go here in the second period. 5-1, Boston lighting it up in the second period.
And when you're answering our question, make sure that you're answering it on Facebook Live in the comments section, as Matt alluded to earlier on.
First one to do it, so do it quickly. A, B, C, or D. Got a 25% chance of just guessing it right. So power play for New York. Shot saved by Ott. Rebound out in front. Another chance. There's a stop. The puck goes on top of the net. There's a penalty coming. It looks like it's going to be on Boston for a hook. So we could have a 5-on-3 here.
Yeah, Boston's starting to get a little bit physical, and I think they're trying to draw New York into a penalty, but it's not going to work here. And this couldn't be a more important 5-on-3 for the New York Riveters. They need a goal to get back into this game. They've got 1 minute and 50 seconds of a two-man advantage at a Boston team that's been playing real fast. Here we've got the replay of the penalty coming in front of the net. Ketchup trying to get into the fray, shoved off. And we've got a 5-on-3 coming up for New York.
For 1 minute and 50 seconds, down 5-1. This is as important a 5-on-3 as you will see in the game tonight for New York. Their first one of the season. And Burke loses it off her stick and played out the center. That's a break for the Pride. So Bellamy called for the penalty for hooking. Kessel with it in the left circle, waits, sends it back. Fratkin with it. Now Burke. Fratkin and Burke. Fratkin shot save made by Ott. Ketchum couldn't corral the rebound immediately, but she gets it back to Fratkin. Burke and Fratkin now switch. Shot save, rebound loose in front of the net. Ott again with a big time save. And the Pride don't clear it out. Good job by Burke to keep it on the blue line. There's Packer battling for it in the corner. Ketchum and gets it back to Burke. Kessel calling for it. Puck goes between her legs. And now it's back to Fratkin. Fratkin waits. Now Kessel with it. Kessel will bring it up to the top now. Kessel over to Fratkin. Fratkin thought about a shot, but decides to puck handle instead. Gets it over to Burke. Burke's shot, maybe a pass, was deflected down. Now here's Burke with it. Burke, the shot saved by Ott. That was deflected. She might have not gotten her body on it, but it just goes wide either way and didn't go in the net. 30 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. McMillan shot, score! Millica McMillan fires it home. It's 5-2.
And it was key for New York to get that goal now. We've still got 40 seconds left of a man advantage, and they can bring this game back within 2. Definitely not an insurmountable lead for the Pride if they get this goal in the next 40 seconds. And just a great bomb from McMillan. Gets the shot out to the point, and it dips down, beating Ott 5-hole. A little of that knuckle puck action you were talking about earlier.
It worked in the Mighty Ducks, and it works here in the real-life hockey as the puck is bounced into the bench of the Riveters. So McMillan, for now, has the goal. Might have been deflected in front, but we'll see what the official announcement is. So they're announcing the goal for Boston. Lannis, so we'll wait and see if McMillan did fire that without any help from a New York teammate. Dostal with it. 18 seconds to go on their power play. Tries to get a shot off. Can't. Puck is loose and not cleared out. Good job by McMillan to at least knock it down for the moment, but Boston will get it out. 8 seconds to go. New York, let's see if they try to get one more rush in here. They do get it across the blue line. The power play is over. Here's a chance out in front. Russo trying to circle the pass back in front, but can't. Rafter trying to create some pressure as Bender's got it, and she'll move it up. So New York does get one goal on that 5-on-3 advantage as McMillan fired the shot from the top of the point, and it gets past Ott.
And she's behind the net to make that play there, too. What a great shift by McMillan. She's got to be feeling good, and hopefully got some momentum back for her team.
Absolutely, the University of Minnesota product. Teammates with Amanda Kessel in their years in the NCAAs. Oh, long pass just could not be connected at the blue line. Icing is waved off, so it was deflected. Play out in front, a player tumbling down for the ribs as it was Ketchum who was going towards the net. And it is McMillan's goal, her first professional goal. Firing it home from the blue line. New York has a chance here for a breakaway. Here comes Ketchum down the left side. She moves in, she shoots, and it's deflected away. Ott again comes up big when she's facing a one-on-none situation. Brittany Ott continues to impress in those pressure situations. Near trip of the blue line. Here comes Boston now, bringing it down. Duggan, shot stopped as it's deflected away and goes off the boards behind the net. Duggan still chasing after the puck. New York has certainly gotten some momentum off of that goal, but they still trail it by 3 with 3:10 to go here in the second period. Bellamy brings it down, plays it behind the net. Carpenter tries to get after it, and Dostal tried to play it off the boards but turns it over. Puck still in the New York zone. Shot just goes wide of Fitzgerald, who hasn't seen a lot of action since coming into the game.
A tough break for New York, who had a 3-on-1 situation there, and you might want to see a pass over to the 2 open players on the far side of the net. Boston scored twice on that similar play. And
it worked for Dench when she was out in front of the net. They did have Fratkin pass out in front, intercepted by New York as it did not connect for the Pride. 2:34 to go here in the second period. Boston 5, New York 2. Boston has scored 4 goals, 4 in a row by the Pride to take a 5-1 lead before McMillan's power play goal made it 5-2. Puck played down. Gagliardi's got it. Her shot saved by Fitzgerald, her first save of the game, and the puck is stopped. And we have 2:16 to go here in the second period.
Yeah, Fitzgerald hasn't really been tested often, but she's looked sharp when she has, even on the shots that haven't made it to the net. She's in good position. She's out high on top of her crease, which is key against this Boston team. And you see the shot coming in here. Handcuffs for the rebound, but is able to retain puck possession and cover it up for the team.
Face-off ends up on the stick of the Riveters, and here comes Packer. Packer again a long cross-ice pass. Does not connect, and it turns into an icing with 2:05 to go here in the second.
And is
So once again, we're going to give you our trivia question. We're not revealing the answer just yet. Which defenseman had the most points last season? Kaylee Fratkin, Emily Falzer, Casey Bellamy, or Gigi Marvin? The first person to answer in the comments section on the Facebook Live page of this broadcast will be the winner. Kessel has it in the center ice with under 2 minutes to go. Tries to send it in deep as Packer chasing after it. Now Dench with it. Dench sends it towards the middle. Kessel's got it, but again bumped off the puck. The Pride have done a good job of really harassing Kessel throughout this game, harassing her without having to getting a penalty. They've been extremely good defensively so far in this one, as there's an icing, and the faceoff will come back in the Boston zone.
Yeah, we mentioned it going into the game, the big impact that Kessel was going to have, but we also mentioned the new look Riveters defense, and that goal by McMillan couldn't have come at a better time. New York obviously playing a lot better since that time, the momentum back in their favor a little bit. So, you know, Wiseman obviously did a really good job trying to match up this Boston team when he put this team together.
Good faceoff win by Boston, but are they going to be able to keep the puck out of the zone? They will not. Russo has it, loses it as Fratkin now picks it up. Grushow battling forward in the corner against Gagliardi. Gagliardi tumbles to the ice. Grushow still trying to hold on to the puck and cannot do it, as Boston will take it and move it to center. 1:15 to go here in the second period. 5-2 Boston in the lead, and a whistle for an offsides with 1:12 to go.
Decker getting held up at the line by Ketchum. Gives her a little extra shove, but Ketchum's able to keep her feet and force the Pride to go offsides.
Coming up at the intermission, we'll have a couple of interviews that I did pregame with the New York Riveters. I talked to Kaylee Fratkin and Ashley Johnston pregame about what they expect this season playing for New York. Fratkin in her first year, second in the league, first with New York. And Johnston, her second in the league with New York. Shot just goes wide of Fitzgerald with 1 minute remaining in the second period. Dostal chasing after the puck behind her own net. near trip, but it was incidental. The referee right there didn't call it. Good job there by the defense of New York, able to get the puck, but can they get it out of the zone? Weber does, although Boston retains possession, if only for a moment. And now it's played up to Fritz Ward. Fritz Ward plays it to the blue line and has to back out with under 34 seconds to go here in the second period. Battle for along the right-hand boards, and Burke comes out with it. Now McMillan has it at center, makes a move, gets it across the red line and dumps in deep with 22 seconds to go. Fritz Ward goes after it, but good job there by the Pride to at least move the puck back out the center. 13 seconds to go here in the period. Packer tries to get in, can't. Burke has it. Burke tries to hit Fritz Ward, can't. Here's McMillan, her shot deflected down. 3 seconds to go, and this second period will end with the score. The Boston Pride 5 and the New York Riveters 2. So another second period, much like last night, where Boston, after being tied 20 minutes into the game, comes storming out of the gates, puts up 4 on the board, makes it 5-1, but New York does gain a little bit of momentum back, getting that goal in the 5-on-3, but Boston 20 minutes away from a 2-0 start, and they're leading it by 3.
Yeah, I'd like to see what happens in that Boston locker room between the first and second period, because something magical seems to be taking place. They come out into the second period and they just destroy whatever becomes into their path. Tough go for New York there, who has really not played a poor game, but a couple of mistakes have led to Boston goals. Nobody better in the league that take advantage of those.
Let's go back to the Fritz Ward breakaway and save by Ott, because right after that, Boston comes back down the other way, and Decker scores the goal, and hopefully we'll call up the replay here and we'll take a look, but that was such a momentum shift. New York is inches away from leading it 2-1, and before you know it, they're down 2-1.
Yeah, and it was a good chance. Fritz Ward thought she had that 5-hole, and Ott just took it away. And like you said, coming back the other way, it was an initial save by Shin, and it hits her pad and rolls up and over. So, one of those breaks that they talk about, the puck isn't bouncing our way, and that seems to be a really great example of how that works in a game like hockey.
And then again, before you knew it, 3 more goals on the board. Decker again, Bolden, Lannis, not even in that order. Doesn't matter, they're up 5-1.
Yeah.
And everything seemed to be going Boston's way, and then they commit the 2 penalties back-to-back, and New York gets the goal back from McMillan. Talk about McMillan and that shot she had from the point. Looking a lot like a player here in Boston, looking like Megan Bozak on that shot. And maybe McMillan can challenge her for the hardest shot. The point is, she found the back of the net and beat Brittany Ott, something not a lot of players can say they've done in this league.
Yeah, and it was tough to say what Ott's read is on that. I wish I had the opportunity to ask her about it, because, it seemed to dip at the last second and drop down and beat her 5-hole, which doesn't usually happen on Ott. She usually shuts those gates pretty well. So I wonder if she saw the puck going in a different direction and it got away from her there. But I don't want to take anything away from McMillan. That was a beautiful shot.
It most certainly was. Sojung Shin pulled from the game after allowing those 5 goals, the 4 in the second period. Katie Fitzgerald getting her first chance to play in the National Women's Hockey League after starring at St. Cloud State, and the goaltending situation. We talked about it before the game. When you lose Jamie Leonoff like the Riveters did, it puts a lot of pressure on Shin, who was supposed to be the backup heading into the year. Fitzgerald potentially could have been the practice player. Instead, they both get bumped up into big-time roles, and now they're in this game. And Fitzgerald, if she can keep Boston off the scoreboard in the third period, much like Buffalo did last night, maybe the Riveters can get back in it. They certainly have put 2 on the board, and they could get more, but they're going to have to do it quickly.
Yeah, they definitely have to come out firing on all cylinders and get that ever-important first goal of the period, open things up a little bit, get that confidence and that speed under their feet. They really do have the opportunity to turn this game around if they can get that first goal.
Well, we'll see how the Riveters come out in the third period. When we come back from the break, I'll have my interviews with Kaylee Fratkin and Ashley Johnston. And then the third period will reveal our trivia question answer as well. 5-2, the Pride lead the Riveters after 2 periods of play. We'll be right back after these messages on NWHL Cross Ice Pass.
There's always a sense with Decker and Niter on ice in the penalty kill that someone's going to score.
I know every time that they're on the ice that they're going to make something happen. They don't care if they're on a PK.
Here's Knight shorthanded. Knight in alone. Deke shoots. Save! McLaughlin. Oh, what a stop! Keeps it 1-0, gives it back, and Decker scores!
The dynamic duo obviously does it again.
14-21.
I wasn't expecting them to come off the bus and come straight over here, especially with the fun night of celebrating they had had. I love seeing Isabel and meeting Isabel, but even more importantly, I was really happy to see them and just be in the moment with them.
Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Matthew Falkenberry alongside Riveters defenseman Kaylee Fratkin. And Kaylee, thank you for joining me. And the first question, really, you sent shockwaves through the league when you and Jamie left the Connecticut Whale to sign with the Riveters. What was the motivation behind that? And what's it like knowing that tonight you're going to get to play your first game for New York?
Well, after the season that New York had, I knew that they were looking for offensive defensemen to come and kind of build around, and they were looking to just build their franchise altogether. And so that was something that was an attraction to me, and absolutely the coaching staff was a number one seller for me as well. So I signed with New York, and not Connecticut, signed with New York, and I'm really pleased so far with the decision.
Jamie Leonoff's out for a while, potentially for the season. What was that news like when you found out? And what's the confidence from the team with Sojung Shin, who will become the starting goaltender?
Well, Jamie's obviously a tremendous goalie, and so when I heard about the injury that she had, I was a really good close friend to her last year, so it was kind of hard to hear that she wouldn't be coming back this year. But Sojin is an amazing goalie. I think she's a goalie that's kind of gone under the radar, I guess, because she played CIS hockey, so she wasn't on the NCAA side, so a lot of people don't know about her. But she played tremendous against Russia, and she's great in practice, so I'm really excited for what she's going to bring tonight.
Obviously, the other big news in the offseason was the addition of Amanda Kessel. And what does Amanda bring to the table? And do you think there's a lot of pressure on her to live up to the lofty standards of, coming to New York and basically being asked to do a lot for the offense?
I don't know if it's so much pressure, because I feel like she's been put in that situation for her whole entire college career and playing at a national team level. And she's a goal scorer. She finds the back of the net. She finds a way to put up points, and that's exactly what New York needs, and that's what we need from her as a team. And I think when you're such a great, highly touted player, that's the pressure that comes with it. And I don't know if she sees it as pressure at all, but she definitely has a lot of confidence, and we're looking to her to put the puck in the net.
Team Canada is going to be in the Four Nations Cup, and they're trying to wrestle that championship away from Team USA, one of the few Canadian players in the league, as you are. I mean, what's it like going up against the Team USA players and even playing with a few like Amanda?
It's exciting when you get into games like this, when you play against Boston, because you are playing against some of the best players in the entire world. And I think that's what's really exciting about playing tonight and playing with great players like Amanda, is that you're playing with quality hockey players, and if you're putting out the hard work and everyone's dishing out the puck well and working hard, success is going to come. So when you're playing against Boston, which is predominantly USA, you're going against a good fight, so you have to work hard. You can't just throw your stick out onto the ice and kind of show up for the game. It's like you really got to be there to play and work hard.
New York demands a lot of its athletes. I'm a New Yorker. I demand a lot from the teams that I root for. I know that the Riveters have got pressure on them because a lot of people believe that you are the #1 challenger for the Isabel Cup to take it from Boston. What's that feeling like in the locker room? Does the team understand that people are expecting them to make a run for a championship this season?
Well, to whom much is given, much is expected. So it's kind of one of those sayings where we know that we have a really good group of players coming in, and some people see us as being the runners for the Isabel Cup, and some people, don't still see us as the underdog. So, there's a lot of hard work that's being put into play, and a lot of sticking to systems, and, just a lot of hard work and practice. Coaches demanding a lot from us, and I think that's what helps. Coming into games where you're playing against Boston or you're playing against Buffalo, every team is really strong this year. And so the biggest thing for us has just been really coming with preparation, and our practices have been extremely high tempo. We're not skating for 2 hours out on the ice. We're going for like an hour hard, and it's all that expectations of putting in the hard work, and that's where the success comes.
Kaylee Fratkin led the league by defensemen in points last year. She'll look to duplicate that with New York this season. I'm Matt Falkenberry, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Matt Falkenberry alongside Riveters captain Ashley Johnston. And Ashley, first of all, the Riveters have got a lot of pressure on them this season to make it work. You're the captain of the team. What are you telling your teammates in the locker room before tonight's game about just how to handle all the pressure, knowing that people are expecting the Rivs to challenge the Pride for a championship this year?
I think the big thing is just working with what we have inside the locker room. So, keeping the focus inside the locker room, understanding that's a process. At the end of the year, or beginning of the year, you don't want to be the best team. You want to be the best team at the end of the year. So sticking with the process, sticking with our systems, and really just trying to hone in on our skills.
You were here last year. It was a tough season, finishing in 4th place, losing in the first round to Boston. But there, again, like I mentioned, the expectations are higher. A lot of new players. Kaylee Fratkin has come in. Amanda Kessel has come in. What can the new players for the Riveters bring to the table to add to the returning players?
So we're going to play a very hard, very aggressive style that's very fast. So we really want to push the pace in the entire game. Those type of players that can come in really fit into that system. So really it's just going to help us be able to execute a little bit better.
Who's the one player that you believe that has returned from last year into this year that can really step their game up and add something to the new players who have come in?
I think both Packer and Fritz are going to really bring it up a level. They're both really excited to come in. They're eager for some wins, for some points. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do this year.
You're going up against a Pride team that's full of Team USA members, but you've got a few of your own, including Amanda Kessel. What's it like playing with her? You've played a couple preseason games with her. Just what does she bring to the team, and what should fans expect from her this season?
The great thing about Amanda is that she works hard all the time. Doesn't matter if a camera's on her, if a camera's not on her. You know that she's given 110% the entire time on the ice. So she elevates the level of play to everybody around her as well, which, that makes her a really special player.
You are one of only 4 or 5 captains in the league. Just talk about what that means to you to be in this league second year and to once again be the captain of the New York Riveters.
It's an incredible honor. I think honor is definitely the best way to describe it. Like, just having this league, having this opportunity is, it's a great thing. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride with it because it's just such a special experience in my life.
That is Ashley Johnston here for the New York Riveters taking on the Pride on Saturday. I'm Matt Falkenberry, and we'll be right back.
Before the face-off, we're talking, and Dempsey's like, "Gee, I'm going to win the puck. Back to you. You shoot. I'll go to the net with my stick on the ice and try to tip it in."
In front, Dempsey scores!
It ended up working almost exactly how she drew it up. She just went crazy celebrating.
Wasted no time, really, 4 seconds into the 4-on-4.
That's something I love about Dems. She genuinely celebrates.
I love grinding shifts. I just love them because I love beautiful goals too, all right? And we've scored some beautiful goals. But I've seen so many players in my day that don't have both. They don't have both, okay? They can make beautiful plays at times, but they don't have it, the other part where we have both. And I think that's awesome, all right? That's a complete player, complete team. Just keep it simple, all right, you guys?
Yeah, there was some bad blood. I'm not exactly sure why. I might have started with that first game, kind of got off on the wrong foot.
Here we go.
And welcome back to the second intermission report here from the Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. I am Matt Falkenberry alongside my partner in crime, Eric Wolschlager. And Eric, we talked about it before the second period and now after. Boston continuing their second period dominance, putting 4 on the board and have a 5-2 lead. And by the way, if you were watching the intermission report as we were interviewing one of the players for the Rivs, you might have figured out what the trivia answer was, which proves my point as I was making to the production crew that you need to watch the intermission because you never know what you're going to find out, and maybe someone who was watching got that answer correctly. We'll reveal who was the winner and what the answer was if you didn't watch in the third period. But Eric, getting back to the game, there's no, I can't stress this enough. Hillary Knight's not playing. She's not even in the building, and they've scored 9 goals in 5 periods, and they're just living up to the hype and then some. The Pride just, it's like wave after wave of talent every time on the ice.
Yeah, and when you're the best, there isn't a lot that you really can improve on sometimes, and they did go out and improve by picking up Carpenter. That was a huge move by Boston to sign her off of the Pride's draft list, or I'm sorry, the Riveters draft list, and then we've mentioned her a dozen times tonight, Team USA captain Megan Duggan, who is just such a dynamic hockey player. She's a game changer in her own right, and you know, it's tough to really overstate what she can do to change a game. She's not just a gifted scorer, not just a gifted passer, but she's also a very hard person to knock off the puck, and it's really easy for her to get that puck back once she does lose possession. It's like something I've never seen before. She's a big, strong body with all the hands and skill of a gifted scorer.
He's Eric. I'm Matt. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast, whether you're watching on Facebook Live or on Cross Ice Pass through NWHL.zone. 5-2, Boston in the lead. Coming into the third period, you mentioned it. New York has got to score early in the period to get more momentum. How are they going to be able to do that?
You know, it would help if they were able to draw some penalties. Things are getting a little bit chippy down there, and we mentioned Duggan a couple seconds ago. Sometimes it's kind of easy to draw her into a penalty. She'll take an extra shot if she thinks the ref's not looking. Maybe they can catch the ref looking, get a penalty, get their special teams back there, and back out on the ice and take advantage of another opportunity when they've got the extra attacker.
So 40 seconds to go on the clock before we get this one going again. Decker's got 2. Lana scoring her second of the season after scoring 1 last night. Carpenter, her second of the season. She had 1 last night as well. So Decker, Carpenter, and Lana already with 2 goals each to lead the league. Also Bolden scoring her first of the season as well for New York. Dench and McMillan, the 2 rookies, Harvard and Minnesota products, able to find the back of the net for New York. Ott playing the second game of a back-to-back. It certainly hasn't phased her one bit. She's got experience with it. She did it in the playoffs 2 times, so this is certainly nothing for her. And Katie Fitzgerald is in net for New York. She took over with about 7 minutes and change remaining in the second period, and she will go back out there to try to finish this one up. Can she hold the Pride at bay in the third period and give New York a chance to come back, or will Boston continue the onslaught and finish off their portion of opening weekend presented by Dunkin' Donuts with 2 victories and continue their defense of the Isabel Cup?
Yeah, and if Decker can get that hat trick, it's crazy to think that one player in the league will have more goals than 2 other teams in the league coming out of these 2 games tonight.
The Buttes play tomorrow. You will be on the call with the rest of the 716 podcast crew, and you'll be doing that all season long. And if you're not a Buffalo fan, you'll become one when you listen to these guys call a game. They'll be up against the team you see on your screen right now, the Connecticut Whale. They're checking out the action. See one of the players is on her phone. I'm going to bet she's watching on Facebook Live. Let's just hope so, at least. But either way, the Whale will make their season debut. And real quickly, as we wait for the period to start, let's talk a little bit about the Whale. It's the only team we haven't talked about yet this year. They lose Fratkin and Leonoff, but they are a team that, you know, went to their Connecticut roots to pick up some rookies, and they're a team that, although some people might not think highly of them, I personally believe they can still be a force and finish as high as they did last year, which was second.
Yeah, they had great showings against Team Russia in their preseason games, and like you said, the rookies, Dana Trevino, tops that list. She's a great physical defenseman, and will definitely help that team coming into the season.
And Kelly Stack returning as well for the Whale. She is their big-time Team USA member, and she'll be the one charged with getting the Whale off to a good start. The rematch of that Buttes Whale playoff series, that great series, will be tomorrow night here from the Harbor Center. Boston and New York, third period underway here from Buffalo. 19:34 and counting to go in the third. Boston up by 3. The 3-goal lead, the 2-goal lead in hockey, sometimes the most dangerous lead in the sport, and we'll see if New York can battle back. Dench with it, shot save made by Ott, and she catches it right on the eye in Pride.
Yeah, Ott looking sharp again tonight, letting in 2 goals, but, and you know, we talked about it earlier, giving up some rebounds, but those rebounds are coming less and less as she fumbles with the puck a little bit, trying to get it back to the ref. Hopefully she's got that under control after this faceoff.
For her, not a harbinger of things to come. Coming up after the first media timeout, we will reveal the trivia answer and the winner of the trivia contest. New York down 3, trying to get possession, but they can't, and Boston will bring it up the center. Hickel bringing down the right side, looking for a pass, doesn't get it as the shot goes wide of Fitzgerald, but the puck ends up on the blade of Bolden. Puck played down towards the net. Looked like Smelker, whose name we haven't mentioned much tonight, has the puck and still battling for it, but it's picked up there by New York. And Picard trying to move it to center after whiffing on it the first time. Weber now has it, and she'll send down ice, and the Riveters will make a change. We'll see what Chad Wiseman does with Kessel, see if they start double shifting Amanda Kessel or not. In a long season, it's only one game, this whole season opener. You don't want to tire out your players too quickly, but we'll see exactly how they handle the lines moving forward. 26-19, the shots in favor of the Pride. They were 26-18 at the end of 2 periods. So once again, the Pride out shooting their opponent. That was a common theme last year amongst the common theme of winning a lot. 18-13 to go here in the third period. 5-2, New York trailing it by 3. Rafter, the former Butte, now with the Riveters, wearing number 7 this year. The addition of 4 and 3, which he wore with Buffalo. Puck played towards the middle. There's a shot deflected away from Ott. There was a stick on the ice that now is out at center ice. Opportunity here for New York. Shot save made. Fritz Ward again stopped by Ott. Second time Morgan Fritz Ward has had an opportunity against Ott, basically one-on-one, and could not make the connection. The puck is played into the corner. Boston having a little trouble with the forecheck here. Kessel chasing after it.
And if you look, Lanes lost her stick in the middle of the ice. She took one off the bench, and it was the wrong hand. So she gets a chance to get a right-handed stick here.
Always a scary proposition when you lose your stick, and sometimes the defenseman just tries to, as a forward, tries to help you give a stick up, and then it might be the wrong hand. You know, just trying to get some kind of stick in your hands to make the plays defensively. So either way, an icing called on Boston. So New York has a face-off in the left circle to the right of Ott. Puck played by Boston, but turned over. Puck played to the blue line. Picard sends it across, shot wide of Ott. Puck bouncing behind the net. Another pass towards the slot, knocked down. Packer sends it back. Another shot, and that one just goes wide. So Fratkin with 2 opportunities, not able to get him clean all the way through, or at least on net. Another chance all the way through, and he just passed everyone. Dench with it, makes a nice move with the stick, brings it to the left circle. Shot blocked off the back of the boards. And here comes New York again. They're doing a great job holding onto the puck. Picard sends it across. Fratkin, her shot deflected down, and Boston will clear to center. Icing waved off, so New York will have to chase after it as the pressure continues from the Pride here on the forecheck. Field making her presence felt. And a near turnover by New York. Boston has it. Here's an opportunity. Puck is loose. There's a shot. Save made look like by Fitzgerald with the pad. And Dench has it, and then she'll move it out the center. Puck played in deep, and Fratkin will have it and play it across. Picard with it. Tries to send it off the glass. It's turned over. Duggan with it now. Duggan rubbed off along the boards. Picard fell down. Now another big hit. That'll be a penalty on New York. There's the touch, and a power play for the Pride coming up.
Yeah, it looked like Duggan went down a little bit easy there. Fratkin didn't put much of a hit on her, and she dropped like a pile of bricks. So maybe like a little gamesmanship by Duggan there. And now it's Boston that's got a chance to really put this game away with this power play.
Fratkin not exactly happy. Take a look at the replay here.
And the puck goes behind the net. Duggan with a great steal there. An odd choice by New York to empty the zone and leave the 2D with 3 Pride in the zone. Duggan gets through Picard there, and then through Weber, runs into Fratkin and goes down.
16:03 to go here in the third. 2-minute power play for Boston. They do have 1 power play goal in this game so far. Puck played back to the blue line. So body checking is the call from the referee. Bellamy at the top of the point, winds up, shoots, and just goes wide. May have been deflected by Fitzgerald. So the announcement of Fitzgerald in net. Dostal with it, she'll look to clear, and does, at least the center. The Pride up 5-2. Here is Hickel trying to make it 6. The shot just goes wide. Tried to go to the left post against Fitzgerald, but just missed wide.
Good positioning by the goalie up on top of the crease there.
Puck played down towards the crease, and it's deflected away all the way out to the left point where Bellamy will go after it. Puck played back to the blue line. Now down towards the goal line. Hickel tries to make the pass out in front, can't connect. Loose puck, and here comes New York with it one-on-one. Here's Weber. Weber brings it across the blue line, trying to make a move towards the middle. Does. Tries to make a pass, has it taken away, and 3-on-1. Won by the Pride, and Decker was the one who corralled the puck. Here comes Alex Carpenter down the right side. She shoots, and a save made by Katie Fitzgerald with the glove. 37 seconds to go on the penalty to Fratkin, 14:39 to go in the third period.
That was very much about to develop like a play that happened against Buffalo last night, where Carpenter took the outside route and cut back into the middle, but this time she unleashes the shot before she makes the cut. And you can see it happen here. She gets the edge on McMillan, but pushes her out just enough to force the shot, and the glove saved by Fitzgerald, who's looked great so far tonight.
Shot by Marvin, deflected away as we're back to live action. Power play with 25 seconds to go. Puck played towards the middle. Carpenter with it. Carpenter waits, sends it across. A shot opportunity missed by Boston, and then they clear the zone for New York. And with 13 seconds to go, Boston should probably get about one more opportunity to get down ice and get that power play goal. Carpenter to the right circle, tries to play towards the middle. It's deflected, and Boston will see their penalty, power play, go off the board. So another missed opportunity for the Pride, but they're still leading it 5-2. 13:55 to go and counting here in the third period. Pride still holding on to the possession. Down low, pass out in front, and a loose puck with a wide open net. Did not connect.
A great aggressive play by Dempsey to take the puck there instead of waiting for the pass to come across and try to catch it off the shooters. And New York brings the zone now. Packard gets the puck in deep.
Picard has it, brings it across behind the net. Weber tries to jam it in. It's still loose, and it score! Rafter, in her return to Buffalo, has put one in as Ott left the rebound right on the goal line. It's 5-3 with 13:27 to go. We got ourselves a hockey game, folks.
And the sizable forward from British Columbia. I know that's what she was looking to do last season, and I don't think there are few cities more excited for her as the puck comes from behind the net. Great individual effort, and Rafter sees it loose on the goal line. Just taps it by Ott, who made the initial save, and she wasn't in a bad position. It was just another unfortunate break, puck coming off the pads, and Rafter's able to tuck it home.
Rafter with showing the ups on as she celebrated, jumping well off the ice. She's able to tuck that one in, and it is now 5-3. Boston missing out on that power play, and New York answers with a goal. Fitzgerald has kept them in the game. It's now only a 2-goal game, so the Pride got to get their game back up and going again. Shot deflected before it got to Fitzgerald as it played into the corner.
This is a completely different New York team. You can tell by how they're still in this game with just under 13 minutes left to go.
Puck played at the blue line and knocked down. Pride trying to get the 6th goal on the board, but having trouble controlling the puck. And Rafter getting a nice ovation from the crowd here in Buffalo. She was an integral part of that Buttes run to the Isabel Cup final last year. She was almost, I'd say, minutes away from going to Sweden before getting the call from the general manager, Chad Wiseman, as the puck is intercepted, and the Riveters will move it to center, and that will go out of play, but looks like Russo was in the neutral zone, so it won't be a penalty. Let's take a look at the replay here.
And this is a behind the net look. Great play to get the puck out front, and then good eyes by Rafter, who's kind of left alone as Dempsey comes back to cover the wraparound and able to tuck the puck behind Ott.
So we have immediate timeout here. 5-3, Boston in the lead with 12:23 to go. This is the NWHL on Cross Ice Pass. We'll be right back. Puck played behind the net as we're back to live action here. 12:15 to go. here in the third period. Rafters goal, cutting the Pride lead to 5-3, and New York trying to slice that lead down to 1. They once trailed this game 5-1, made the goalie change, and then got a power play goal 5-on-3, then stopped the power play in the third period for Boston before New York was able to cut the lead. But here comes an opportunity, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Hickel tries to make a back pass, it's intercepted, and now numbers the other way, but Packer losing the puck behind her, so the number game is gone, but an opportunity nonetheless, a shot saved by Ott and deflected into her glove. So let's go to the trivia answer. Who was, as we wait to see the question come back up, who was the defenseman who last year led the National Women's Hockey League in points? And it's Kaylee Fratkin with 17. If you listened to my second period intermission interview with her, which was taped before the game, you would have known that answer. So Fratkin, who scored 17 points with the Connecticut Whale, and will reveal the winner on the next whistle as Boston and New York get back to play, and there's going to be a penalty coming at center ice, and it's going to be a tripping call against the Riveters, so it's a good opportunity for the Pride to reestablish their 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, Duggan again drawing a penalty. Second consecutive one, getting her team a little bit of an advantage here. And it was Bert Gashalian who answered the question correctly. Bert Gashalian, congratulations. And hopefully you were watching that second period interview. And we've got that trip right there. Tries to cut the Riveters defenseman and both sticks on the ice. Kind of runs into them and ends up going bum over tea kettle.
And we can hopefully say that we got that name correctly, pronouncing it correctly. If we didn't, we do apologize. But Bert, you are our winner, and you have won a shout out from Eric, and that is like gold. 11:20 to go in the third period, 5-3. The penalty called on Kira Dostal, giving the Riveters a penalty kill that they must kill off if they want to stay in this game. Down by 2. They killed off one penalty and eventually turned it into a goal. And maybe they'll be able to do it again. But first things first, stopping a Pride team that has already got 5 on the board. And although their power play has struggled in the first 2 games, you just know it's a matter of time before they get it going.
That's true, but they also gave up a shorthanded goal to Harrison Brown last night. So if the Riveters have their scoring line out there right now, they might be able to turn this into an advantage for themselves.
And we'll see what happens as Marvin has it at the top of the blue line. She waits, fires, shot just goes wide. Rebound cannot be corralled until Bolden got it, and now New York has it, and they'll clear down ice, or at least the center. And Marvin will get it to the red line, waits for some teammates, tries to send it over to the Rivs as they had a bunch of players changing, maybe looking for an extra penalty, and it's sent down ice. Chasing after it is New York. Grushau giving pressure to Ott, who swings it around. Grushau, good forecheck here, trying to intercept the puck. 35 seconds ago on the penalty to Dostal, who is standing up in the box, just itching to get back out there. Chance for the Pride, shot just goes wide to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald has had some activity, but not a lot on net. Pride trying to get something set up here with under 30 seconds to go on the power play. Intercepted by Fratkin. Can she get it out? And yes, she can. Just gets out of the zone. Bellamy plays it at center ice. Waits and sends it across. Puck knocked down. Decker has got 2 tonight, going for the hat trick. Shot saved by Fitzgerald. Johnston gets after it. Tries to clear down and can't. It was deflected by a Riveter player, but the power play is over. And here comes Dostal. Can she get to the puck first? She can't. Ott will go out and chase after it. And unlike in the National Hockey League, she's able to play it into the corners. There's no trapezoid in the National Women's Hockey League, which makes our producer, Chuck Scott, an extremely happy man as a goaltender himself. But either way, good job by Ott to get to the puck first as New York tries to get their possession game going again and try to slice into this lead. They're being outshot 30-23, and they're being outscored 5-3. Opportunity for Boston here. There's a shot saved by Fitzgerald. She left a rebound, but was able to get a glove on it with 9:03 to go. Here in the third period, Boston still leading it by 2.
Yeah, Lannis using the card as a screen, getting a quick shot through, and Fitzgerald saw it all the way, gave up a rebound, but was able to cover it up and get the face-off for her team.
Face-off in the left circle to the right of Fitzgerald. Bender with it, takes the shot, deflected. McMillan tried to use her leg to deflect that shot away. And New York has it, tries a long centering pass, but it doesn't work. Hits along the blue line, and Boston was onside, but New York does have the puck. Packer trying to get to it, can't. Now battle for it, and it's intercepted there. Here's an opportunity for New York. Kessel trying to make a move. There's a penalty coming, though. A hand is up, and it looks like Kessel forces a penalty against Boston.
so strong on her stick coming through the defense there. Twice she got her stick held and was able to break through, still come through with the puck, and wasn't able to get a good shot off of her backhand, unfortunately, but drawing the penalty. We've got the replay here. She's gonna make the move toward the front, not get held up there by by Bender, and draw the penalty.
So Bender in the box for 2 minutes with 8:36 to go. This is a huge power play for the Riveters as they try to turn this into a one-goal game, and that is what Amanda Kessel was brought to New York to do, was to create penalties and use her power and speed to force the defense into making a decision. Bender's decision was to end up committing a penalty. She certainly didn't want to, but was almost forced into doing so. And New York has the power play. McMillan with the puck now. She has the power play goal for New York. Pass sent across, and it's a little bit too far ahead of it looked like Russo, number 18, but the puck will end up on the stick of McMillan. McMillan waits, sends it down. Russo lets it go. Dench, number 19, with it now. Dench tries a centering pass. It works, but it has to be passed back as the puck was fluttering, and the Pride now have it, and they'll clear down ice, and Fitzgerald will wait for it and makes the stop very sure-handedly, and now she'll just decide to pick it up. And that's a great play. That's an underrated play by the Pride. You're not going to see that in the stat sheet, but what Decker just did was stop the momentum and force a face-off all the way in the New York zone for Boston on a penalty kill.
Yeah, and brilliant play by her. So smart to just race down the ice, burn her legs out a little bit, knowing that she'll get the change with the whistle anyway. And the way that Boston wins face-offs, taking a face-off is never a bad option.
And they won that face-off, and they move it back and then send it all the way down again as time continues to slip away here on the power play for New York. 7:37 to go here in the third. 1 minute exactly to go on the power play for New York as Bender, it was put in the box. Opportunity, shot, save made by Ott. Might have been deflected before it got through as it's played into the corner now. Ketchum trying to get to it, can't. Knocked down by Kessel, though, below the goal line. Kessel now has it, has some space, and it gets it out to Burke. Top power play unit out there for New York right now. Fratkin with it. Fratkin gets some pressure and sends it all the way around where Madison Packer has it. Back out to Kessel. Kessel in the left circle. Back to Packer below the goal line. Tries a centering pass, and it goes past Fratkin, and the Pride will grab the puck and send it down ice, and Burke will have to chase after it. 25 seconds to go on the power play, under 7 minutes to go. In this game, New York trailing it by 2. At one point, they trailed by 4 at 5-1. Trying to get back into this one. 14 seconds to go on the power play. Puck sent all the way around. Ott tried to slow it down, but it gets past her as Gruschow goes after it. Boston's going to get to the loose puck first, but it's knocked down. Packer trying to get after. Now a penalty has been called with 4 seconds to go. It's an interference call.
No doors open, no goalies to the bench. It's hard to say who's...
And it's going to be on Boston. It's going to be Marvin, and that is a huge loss for the Pride for the next 2 minutes or less, as it'll be a 5-on-3 for only 4 seconds. But the Riveters have an opportunity here, if they can keep possession, to at least get maybe a shot or two, an opportunity here against Ott.
Sure, you know, if they can win the rare face-off win and get one shot, and then they've still got another two full minutes of man advantage.
Face-off, though, won again by Boston, but a good job by New York to keep the zone. Fratkin, though, did not realize that the puck was still in the zone and lost it for a second. Either way, the first power play is over for New York, so 5-on-4 again. Minute 47 to go on that penalty to Gigi Marvin. Kessel sends it down low, pass out in front, it's still loose puck. Boston, though, able to get it. That was a great pass. That had a lot of potential, but the player in the middle, I didn't catch the number, slipped and fell, and New York loses a great chance.
Yeah, I believe it was Ketchum that was just unable to handle that puck, but it was a beautiful play and the type of thing that that New York is looking for, that misdirection to get Ott moving side to side.
Well, it certainly worked. It was just unfortunate that Ketchum lost her footing while trying to make the play. New York brings it across the red line. 3-on-3 now. Here's Russo using her speed. The shot just goes wide of Ott and will be cleared out. Great job by Boston, not wasting any time. Just get it out of the zone with 5:45 to go as Fitzgerald will play it right in front of her crease and give it to McMillan. 1 minute exactly to go on the power play for New York. They've had back-to-back power plays here. 3 minutes or so of power play time in a row, basically, and they have not been able to do anything with it so far. One big kill already for the Boston Pride, and they're trying to rack up another here in the third period. McMillan with the puck now, waits, gets in the zone, looking around, felt the pressure, and a turnover. Here's an opportunity, and here comes Field in all alone, shorthanded, in on Fitzgerald. Field scores! Emily Field goes 5-hole on Fitzgerald. It's 6-3, a short-handed goal for the Pride.
Yeah, and I think unfortunately that's going to be the nail in the coffin here. McMillan held the puck in the zone, had a chance to play it down low, but opted to go back to Dosdal. Dosdal mishandled the puck. Emily Field beat her out in a race in a 50-50 and kind of put a shoulder into, took that puck up the board, made a move, and Fitzgerald let her first goal of her career. And this is a nice deke. Fitzgerald watching the puck a little bit, now watching the stick, and able to get across and get Fitzgerald open the 5-hole. Emily Field banks it home for her second goal of the season as well.
So another second goal of the year for the Pride, as they now lead it 6-3 with under 5 minutes to go. And if there was a statement to be made on opening weekend, the Pride have made it, and that is going to be, you are going to take the Isabel Cup from them come heck or high water. That is for sure. It is going to be a tough sledding for the rest of this league with the way the Pride have showed up in the first 2 games of the regular season, but still a lot to go. You don't know what the future holds for these teams. Shot out in front by Fritz War, and that was stopped. And we go back to the second period, and really the turning point of this game was the breakaway opportunity for Fritz Ward. She can't find the back of the net, and Decker, literally seconds later, able to turn it around and get a goal, make it 2-1 Boston, and they've been really cruising ever since. New York certainly did make it a game at 5-3, but Boston, I don't think ever felt like they were in too much danger. As a pay out in front, loose puck, and a stoppage of play as the net came off its moorings.
We're going to have a timeout here while the players collect themselves. We'll be right back.
I definitely saw a body jump on the puck.
I saw the ref's arms go up. Our coach throws his arms up. He's like, penalty shot!
Penalty shot!
I was like a toddler on the bench. I was jumping up and down. I heard Bobby say, Hillary, you're going to take it. And I turned and I said, we won. We just won this game.
All right, hey.
And welcome back to the broadcast here from the Harbor Center, the KeyBank Rink here in Buffalo, New York, where the Boston Pride lead the New York Riveters by a score of 6-3. And this broadcast has been brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts, America, and the National Women's Hockey League runs on Dunkin'. So a face-off coming just outside the New York zone. Under 4 minutes to go, coming up, I should say, as we are reached the 4-minute mark exactly here in the third period. 6-3, the Pride in the lead. They are outshooting the Riveters unofficially 33-23 as the puck is played into the corner and swung around behind the net. And we played to the blue line. There's a shot and it just goes wide to Fitzgerald. As the Pride closing in on win number 2 of the regular season. A huge hit at center ice. The arm is up and the puck played by Fitzgerald. And that was a massive hit along the boards.
Yeah, emotions got the best of Weber there, I think. There was no reason for her to really finish that check off. The puck was far away from the play, Bolden drawing a penalty there. And I think we're seeing a real veteran, real smart up here. Yeah, just plows into her for really no reason. And just a bad decision by Weber. Their team is on the way to a comeback, and now they've got to kill off a penalty with more than half of the rest of the game.
Down by 3 and a very dangerous hit by Weber. I'm sure she'd like to take that back if she could. Either way, luckily Bolden was okay. That was a huge hit. Something you just don't normally see in the NWHL. So Boston takes over on the power play. Under 3.5 minutes to go here in the third period. See how Boston tries to put up that 7th goal of the game. Opportunity here at the center. And it's played back by Bellamy. Sends it all the way across. Decker has 2 goals tonight. She'll try for her 3rd potentially on this power play. Shot deflected down by New York before it got through the Fitzgerald and will be cleared all the way down ice with under 3 minutes to go here in the third period. 1:18 and counting to go on the power play for the Pride. They'll play it behind the net, and Boston certainly not pushing as hard as you might normally would see as they tried to salt this one away. Puck played along the blue line and kept in by Boston. The Pride holding in at the left circle. Pass out in front, it looked like for Dempsey, but did not connect. Puck played along the right-hand boards, and now out up to the left point. Bolden with it. Bolden sends it down to the right circle. Carpenter tries to send a cross-ice pass. It deflects off the stick. It looked like of Marvin, who gets spun around. And the puck again ends up on the stick of Bolden. Bounces to the right of, to the right of Fitzgerald. Puck played out in front, stopped by Fitzgerald, who in limited action, although the field goal was certainly pretty and something that she would like to get back as that shot goes high. She has played well in this game, and we'll see what the Riveters decide to do for their home opener next weekend against Connecticut. Opportunity here for the Riveters. There's a chance, and the Dench ends up in the net, but not the puck, as she got bumped off the puck, and the Pride play it to center before it's turned over, and now they get it back with 90 seconds and counting remaining here in the third period. Dench with an opportunity there. She has one tonight. New York tied the game 1-1 in this first period. That's where it ended. Then saw 4 goals in a row by Boston make it 5-1. New York then got 2 in a row to make it 5-3 with about 13 minutes ago here in the third period. They had some power play chances that could have cut the lead to 1. It didn't work, and then Emily Field basically putting an end to this one, except for the clock going off, making it 6-3 with the breakaway goal. Tomaselli tries to send it in, can't. Puck played down. Sent in, there's a shot, and it just might have been stopped by Fitzgerald. She did a good job going post to post at least as the puck is played behind the net. 46 seconds to go here in the third period. Shot saved by Fitzgerald, still loose in front, and she'll be able to cover. The power play ending just a little bit ago as Weber came out of the box, and Boston continued the pressure. So 40.3 seconds to go in the third period. Boston with a 6-3 lead coming up.
Yeah, we've got a replay of these series of saves by Fitzgerald here. She gets, like you said, post to post, gets down on the makes the first save, then the puck comes back across, and she's able to freeze it.
Fitzgerald allowing only 1 goal since entering the game for Shin. And the puck is now in the corner. 30 seconds to go. The Pride, the defending Isabel Cup champions, the best team in the league a year ago in the regular season, has come out in the NWHL's opening weekend and made it a prideful one, to say the least, as that shot goes high and off the glass, winning their first 2 games of the season. No Hillary Knight, no problem for Boston so far, and that might be one of the scariest things said in this league so far. No Knight, and Boston still put up a 10 spot in 2 games between New York and Buffalo. The final seconds tick off, and that will do it here from the Harbor Center. The Buffalo Buttes lost 4-1 last night to the Pride, and the Riveters fall to the Pride as well by a score of 6-3. The Pride go over to Ott. She allowed 3 goals in this game, usually not what she does with the goals against average she had last year, but she was solid enough, and the offense did more than enough to lead the Pride to another victory.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to stop a Pride team that can put up 5 goals a game without Hillary Knight, as you just stated. So it's going to be the coach's challenge coming up to figure out how to shut down such a deep team. And I honestly don't know how to do it, but I guess that's why I'm not a head coach.
That is true. The head coaches are going to have that huge responsibility. As you take a look at the screen, one of the greatest traditions in sports, and the NWHL does it at the end of every regular season and playoff game, shaking hands between the 2 teams as they will head off the ice. And again, one thing I didn't point out during the broadcast, but I do want to right now as I watch the players shake hands, some of these players will become teammates, whether it's for Team USA or Team Canada. They will be teammates again for the Four Nations Cup. So you're rivals now. You'll be teammates in November in Finland. So it's always such an interesting dynamic. You see it in the NHL. You see it here with the NWHL. And so the players and coaches all shaking hands. And these 2 teams will have to face off against each other 6 more times as we join you now live in the air as the Pride get ready to salute the crowd. They were the home team in this one, and they defend neutral ice by getting the win, and they celebrate at center ice. So Eric, again, let's talk about New York for a second as you take a look at the players celebrating. New York battled. It's a score that looks similar to last year, but I don't think it's indicative of how the game went. And I think as someone like yourself who covers a different team, who sees the Riveters from afar, I think you were saying it. It's a different team. The score might look the same as last year, but it's a different fight from this team, and they battled. When they were down 5-1, they could have mailed it in. They didn't. They got it within 2. They had a chance.
It's definitely a different team. We're going to get a look at some of the better plays that they had. a nice pass there to maintain possession in the zone, and then get the puck out front. Rafter sees it lying there and is able to beat Ott. What a momentum swing for the Riveters there. And, you know, they almost completed that comeback. And you could see another look at that play here as it comes behind the net.
They are announcing the 3 stars of the game. Emily Field, the number 3 star. The number 2 star, Amanda Kessel, who had an assist in tonight's game. And the number 1 star for the Boston Pride with 2 goals tonight, none other than Brianna Decker, who didn't score last night. Well, she made up for it tonight by potting a couple of goals and making it at one point 4-1. She scored that second goal after that play by Fritz Ward, and we've talked about it a lot, and we'll reiterate it one more time.
Sure.
Morgan Fritz Ward comes in on the breakaway, doesn't score. Decker comes back and scores. That's such Boston Pride hockey. It's getting a save on one end and then scoring right away. That's just such a quick change offense.
Yeah, and that's the speed that we talked about. That's how speed kills, and the Boston Pride definitely kill with their speed. And just a quick turnover off of the shot by Fritz Ward, and they got stretch pass up ice, split the D, and Decker was able to beat Shin for that goal. And a tough break for the Riveters, who, you know, it could have easily taken the 2-1 lead on that play.
Boston will return on Saturday. They'll open up their regular season home schedule at the Warrior Ice Arena in Massachusetts. They'll take on the Buffalo Buttes, the second time that those 2 teams will face off. New York will return home on Sunday. They'll christen the Barnabas Hockey House, their first home game since their move to New Jersey. They'll take on the Connecticut Whale. I'll bring you the broadcast with NWHL Cross Ice Pass and Facebook Live next Sunday. Coming up tomorrow, though, the Connecticut Whale will make their season debut. They'll take on the Buffalo Buttes here at the Harbor Center on Sunday night. Eric will be part of the broadcast. And Eric, just before we go off the air, tomorrow the Whale make their debut. What are you expecting from them in their first game of the year?
Well, I think it's going to be another fantastic game. We've seen great games all weekend, and the Buttes, just like the Riveters, look a lot different than they did in the previous season. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting matchup. Connecticut really dominated the regular season playing against Buffalo, and I think Buffalo is looking to come back and get their first win of the regular season before they head out of town next week.
Buffalo has been a wonderful host. I'll be heading back home towards southern New York, and I'll see you guys for the home opener of the New York Riveters next Sunday. I want to thank Eric. I want to thank the Northeast Sports Network. I want to thank the producer, Chuck Scott. They've done a wonderful job this week, and we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast wherever you are. I'm Matt Falkenberry. The final score once again from the Harbor Center, the Boston Pride 6, the New York Riveters 3. Hope you have a pleasant good evening.
Good night.